Frances would like to go outside and play. Her friend Hopper likes to play outside too, but today it's raining. Hopper had better be careful and not get wet. Frances only goes to the edge of the porch, but Hopper went too far and got his ears wet. He doesn't like that. It's hard to have fun outside in the rain and keep dry, isn't it? Frances and Hopper will have to do something indoors. Frances goes to her room and looks out the window. Hopper goes to his room, too. If it wasn't raining, Frances could dig in her garden, or play with her jacks, or even visit Rover next door. What do you do on a rainy day? Frances finds some paper and crayons in her dresser. Why not draw a picture? And Hopper can help. She spreads all the crayons on the table. Now she and Hopper can see them better. Frances likes to draw, but doesn't know what to draw first. Why not a tree? First, Frances draws the trunk of the tree. Then she draws the branches. Hopper thinks it is a sad tree. Maybe the tree is sad because Frances is sad. She wants to go out and play, but it's still raining. Hopper, can you make Frances happy? What's that green crayon for, Hopper? Of course, green leaves for the tree. Careful, Hopper. Don't spoil the picture. Now the tree looks happy.
Now. We're on now. What was that?
Now.
That was
Hopper.
You know what? Okay, in all the excitement of watching a rabbit, we forgot something. Hi, folks.
We forgot the lights. We're in the dark. Well, we had to watch the rabbit in the dark. Sorry.
God. Not only are we the co-hosts, we're also the production staff as well.
Did we lose viewers? Did we lose?
I think we may have lost a few viewers.
Did we?
Although we're up to 7 current.
7 current. People are like, we want to see more of Hopper.
Apparently they missed us so much last week after our sound failure that they wanted more. They wanted to see you and I and Matt, not Glenn.
Our special guest, Hopper the Bunny.
Mm-hmm. And I swear that was Fred Rogers narrating.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up and see who actually does the narration. I don't know if it's Fred Rogers or not, but that
sounds like it could be.
And you know, the original plan was I would have let the whole 10 minutes play, and we would have went out.
Yeah.
Had some O'Douls and just not,
I spilled my near beer already tonight.
So we would have just left, and we would have had that
clear
as
beer,
our
depending on
as our April Fool's prank of the night.
Still smells like beer.
I mean,
that was our April Fool's
That
joke.
was our
Yes, the
April
Peter
Fool's.
White Show has Rick Astley, and
Yes.
we have Hopper the Bunny.
We have Hopper the Bunny, and that was our tribute to Easter.
And
since Easter's
speaking
next
of which, Peter White is in the chat room, and I'd just like to say a big fuck you for getting Rick Astley stuck in my head tonight.
well,
We've been together.
I thought we had.
Awesome.
I thought we were going to do something and retort to that. Don't
We can.
Don't we have
most
something
certainly
lined
can,
up that we're going to
do
retort
something to retort if
every time? Just to kind of
get even.
get even.
We don't
Is
get
it
mad,
another
we get even.
obnoxious song that you can put in everybody's head. You have it lined up.
I don't know if it's gonna come through the mics.
Well, if the Magic Jack comes through, wouldn't that come through?
It is.
Why do you lock yourself up in these chains? No one can change your life except for you.
Is that an angel getting its wings? I heard like a little.
I think that's an angel ripping its ears out.
Wow.
But of course, we'd also like to say a big happy birthday to Peter White from all of
Happy
us here
birthday,
at
Peter
Verbal
White.
Ejaculation and the IPM Nation crew.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Peter White.
And we would like to humbly apologize for anybody that tried to watch and listen last week.
Yes,
For that clusterfuck of a show.
Strangely enough, we're still number 4 in the ratings on IPM Nation.
Actually, last week's show was the #1 rated show that never aired.
Yep.
That was the best show we ever did.
Oh no, we got bumped down to number 5 because that stupid Matt Connerton Unleashed. How dare they?
I hate that show.
I hate it, Matt Connerton and
He
his
says
15
he doesn't
shows.
pad the ratings.
That guy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
And of course, I want to say hi to Matt in Leominster, Mass, who's joined us once again. He has become a fixture in the chat room, both our show and Roulette at Large Gone Global. So yeah, we had a little bit of sound problems last week, but
Yes.
But
we're
we
back.
looked phenomenal.
We did. We looked fantastic. And to let everyone know, we are because we are part of the not only the Mansterdam family, but we're also part of the QCE News family here at IPMNation.com. Our engineer Glenn R.J. Roulette has graciously let us borrow the QCE News Magic Jack, so we have a phone number for people to call in if you're interested. And the phone number to call in should be listed on the website, but in case it's not,
It is.
it is awesome. It's 978-702-9952. That's 978-702-9952. We, like everybody else in New Hampshire, could not get a 603 number. And I believe that the Peter White Show actually has a 301 number to call in on their show.
Most people
so,
have cell phones now, though, so it's not an issue.
and we've already gone down. Oh, no, we've gone up viewers. This thing just keeps
going and
It's-
going.
going up and
it's
down.
just-
up and
it's
down,
exploding.
In and out. Yeah, it's
Well, I think people
exploding
tuned
all
out
over
because
me.
we got rid of
Yes.
Hopper the Rabbit. I think people tuned in. They were like, "Wow, what is this intriguing
Did you get
show?"
booted out?
I did not get booted out. I don't
Oh,
think,
okay.
but
Well, we also
know.
have. Looks like we also have 3 other. As Jackson Dupree is logging back in, it looks like he may have gotten kicked out.
I got kicked
We
out.
also have
too.
3
What's
other
going
guests in the chat room that have not signed in. If you haven't signed in, it's free to sign up through Ustream. Just pick yourself a username and sign up and log in. You can join us in the chat room. There's always some fun stuff going on. Not surprisingly, Friday night's edition of Roulette at Large Gone Global, the chat room got a little racy. But
on?
that's
Racy,
because
not
it was-
racist.
What was going on in
Racy.
the chat room? I wasn't looking.
It was what was me. It was Matt from Leominster. It was my friend Chris from Jersey, and our guest engineer Bryce, who was here helping Doug McCormick out on Friday, and it just got out of hand. It just
Well,
got.
in what way? What happened?
There was talk about.
Because you can say it on this show,
I
and
believe-
I'm curious
Yeah,
now.
I'm trying to remember. There was talk about I believe us in our underwear.
Oh, that's racy.
Specifically,
Oh, that's really racy.
Specifically a
Ooh.
jockstrap.
Ooh,
Yeah.
oh, that is racy.
Ooh.
Ooh, jockstrap talking.
Well, it's racy for the straights because we were all kind of talking gay shit.
Ooh.
Gay shit!
Racy for the straights.
Oh yeah, and Matt says, and Chris in a jock. Yeah. Oh, and pizza and beer because we had to throw
Ooh,
something
that's
for
racy.
the straight guy in the
Ooh.
chat room.
Yes.
Talk about fucking your mother.
Is that what you're talking about? Ooh,
That's
that
what
is
we talked
racy.
about.
Ooh.
Yeah. Is that what you're looking for,
Oh,
Dan?
yeah.
Is that you want me
Yes,
to dance for you,
that's what
Dan?
I- yes,
Is that
I
what you
did.
want?
Dance, little monkey, dance.
Be like, oh, Pinocchio
Yes,
for you.
yes, yes. Be
All
the
right, where
little
were
bitch
we?
that you are.
Wow.
Were you talking about that you did that
I
in
better
the
get
chat
out.
room, or were you just
I don't
talking
know.
about or speculating?
Yeah,
Speculating.
Oh, I was gonna
Don't
say.
make me come
Ejaculate.
after you with my motherfucking Skittles, bitch!
And your Arizona iced tea.
My Arizona iced
I
tea.
do see you
Oh, you
returned
have
in your hoodie.
I got my
Because we
hoodie.
were going to talk about that last week.
Geraldo would not approve.
You know, listen, I'm a hood rat now. You better watch out.
Yes,
I got
you
my hood.
are.
I'm wearing my hood. I bet Manchester PD better watch out when I go out. They're gonna pull me over for wearing a hoodie.
You better hope there's not a neighborhood watch
Yeah,
guy
they
lurking
were-
around.
You know, I got a
He'll kill
question
you.
about. I went and saw like 21 Jump Street last weekend. There was a preview for a movie that Ben Stiller and Jonah Hill's in called Neighborhood Watch. Do you think that movie got pushed because of everything that's happening?
The
now?
advertisements got pulled.
Because the movie looks hilarious, and the movie it's about these four like over ambitious neighborhood watch guys that are kind of like taking their job too seriously. Do you think it's? I don't think it's going to come out in time, even though the advertising's been pushed. But I honestly think because of all the media surrounding this tragedy, this situation, I think they're gonna probably push the movie a little further back too. I think.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if
because
it's
it's not going to get good new numbers at all.
Arnold Schwarzenegger Collateral Damage that got pushed back because it was supposed to come out in September of 2001, and that got pushed back.
And then when that movie came out, it was such a atrociously bad movie.
It just really
it
bad.
didn't do good. But the thing that gets me about the whole Tavon situation and Zimmerman, and I saw something the other night. I never realized this until I saw this. Does Zimmerman not look like Chaz Bono?
Yes.
He does. He does look like Chaz Bono, and I didn't notice this until I think it was Bill Maher pointed it out on Bill Maher's show the other night. That Zimmerman looks exactly like Chaz Bono in that mugshot photo they have of Zimmerman that they show. And I mean, the media, the way the media is portraying this whole thing,
that Chaz Bono did it.
That Chaz Bono did it, I think is wrong.
Yes.
Because now they're making it a gay, like transvestite, like transsexual type of thing now, and not a race issue. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it should be a transsexual versus black thing. I don't agree with that.
It should never be.
It should never be about.
Well,
that.
first of all, I mean, we should use the proper terminology. They're trans-Americans.
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 So they're making it a trans-American
Trans
versus black thing.
Yes.
I don't like
They're
that.
Trans Am for short.
Yes.
But first off, isn't Zimmerman half black? Or he's half Hispanic.
He
half
looks Hispanic, yes.
He's half Hispanic, half white.
And full-on racist.
And how is he a full-on racist? Because he killed a black kid? Does that make him racist?
I believe the fucking Coons comment that he made.
When did he make a coon comment? I didn't even hear that part of it.
That was like
You haven't heard the
was part
audio?
of the 911
I haven't
audio.
heard a part where he's saying anything about coons.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't heard that part of it.
No, a lot of people were switching it to say, "Oh no, it sounds like he was saying punk," but it wasn't. He said
Because I haven't heard him saying anything about fucking coons.
Or I heard someone claiming that he was saying goons.
Plus
Yeah.
today they come out with some new evidence that they hired two professionals to do the voice. The yelling, Zimmerman says he was yelling for help.
Oh, they came out
wasn't
today.
his-
It is the kid. It is the
It
kid.
is
doing the
Yeah.
voice of
Yeah.
the cartoon
So that's a lie.
version.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that they had video of him when he was in the police station because he
Yeah.
said he had the blood coming out of the back of his head and all that, and they show him coming out of the car and he didn't seem discombobulated. There's no
No.
like blood and everything. And I mean, now okay, nobody was there, so we don't know
That's
really
right.
what happened. But I mean, the kid's a little kid, or he was a 17-year-old. But I mean, you know that the kid probably was punking him a little bit, and this guy was like this trigger happy. He shouldn't have had a gun in the first place.
No, and he shouldn't
But
have
he
been
was-
following.
And he shouldn't have been following him. I mean, a neighborhood watch is not a cop.
And apparently
So-
he used to call 911 all the time.
There was like
Yeah,
40,
they know him
50
by name.
calls,
Yeah.
and
They
they
know
were
him by name.
and they told him do not. So
So
I
it's
mean,
just a
but,
nut.
but
That's crazy.
but he shouldn't have, but he's probably got. I mean, he's probably got guilt for killing. I mean, I'm sure he didn't intentionally decide he was going to kill that night. I'm sure he didn't sit there and say, all right. I don't think it's a race issue. I don't think he was like, okay, I'm going to go kill a coon tonight, and decided to go find a random
But
kid
I'm
and kill them.
sure he was overzealous as well. That he was just sitting there.
Well, I'm wondering if he's one of those
waiting
guys
for
that like.
somebody to come into the gated community.
It sounds to me like he's just nuts. He's either nuts and
Well, there's-
racist, or he's just nuts.
Well,
But
something
either
was
way,
brought up
he's
to me
crazy.
tonight that he's a former military person too, so he may have had some post-traumatic stress.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Really?
That was brought up tonight. I don't know if that's 100% true, but there was something that he
I
might have
hadn't
been
heard
former military. There might have been some shell shock or post-traumatic stress that might be an issue to that too.
Hmm.
But the thing is the 911, like they're telling him, he calls the dispatcher. The dispatcher says to him, "Don't follow the kid. Leave
Right.
the kid alone," and he continues to follow the kid.
Yeah.
Now, for all we know, and I know when I was a 17-year-old, when the cops hassled me, I used to sass back to the cops, but that was cops. If a neighborhood watch guy would hassle me, I would sass back to the neighborhood watch guy too. I'd be like, "Who the fuck are you? You're not a cop." So I'm sure he wasn't an innocent kid like they make the kid out to be, even though you know what I mean.
Right.
Like I'm sure
He's
said
a kid.
he probably said something to him, which doesn't deserve him to get shot in any
No.
way, of course. But the way that the media has portrayed it, it's like he's this angelic little kid who hasn't done anything wrong in his life ever. And you see this, like, these pictures, like, the way it was funny in the media is you see these pictures of Zimmerman. They show this almost like mugshot photo of Zimmerman everywhere.
The Chaz bomb.
And then you see this picture of Tavon, which is like him as a 10-year-old or 12-year-old. Every picture you'd see of Tavon was like a young picture of Tavon. And then people were posting pictures of Tavon as like a hoodlum, though, recently. There's been pictures of him with like
apparently it turned out that he had tried marijuana.
Well,
that did come out in the
Not
media,
bad.
so
he
therefore...
tried it, or
That
he was
means
actually a
tried.
pothead, because I've been told he's a pothead.
Well,
That's somebody that's
either
told-
way, he
So,
obviously was a bad seed,
I
no
think
pun
he's a punk,
intended,
because
so...
Who's not a punk?
But
So you
there-
can't,
but
you
there-
really can't...
Was there a rumor
he
that
brought
he
it on
was-
himself.
Was there a rumor, though? This is what I heard, and this is something that another media channel, and it wasn't Fox that said this. Another media channel said he actually gave a certain celebrity who passed away recently a gravy boat full of crack cocaine.
Oh.
That was him?
That's what I was told. I
Wait,
was
wait,
told.
Wait. It wasn't Fox?
It
Are you sure?
It wasn't
Are
the
you
Fox
sure
News
it
channel.
wasn't
It wasn't.
Fox?
No, it wasn't.
Was it,
Oh,
what's
it
Pat
was
Robertson's...
was it
the
Comedy
900
Central?
Club or whatever that was? Whatever it was.
Was it Glenn Beck's
Was it
website?
Pat Robertson?
What was no? What wasn't that? Was
The
it 400 Club? What
the
was it?
700 Club?
700 Club. That's what
700 Club, yeah.
Yeah, it
Pat
was
Robertson
Pat
is
Robertson.
hilarious. He's
Yeah,
just a
totally.
he's just a gorgeous little man.
No, I just think I think the media is getting too involved in it, where they should just let everybody do their job, even though the police never did their job in the first place. They should now that the feds have gotten involved, they should let the feds do the investigation. I do think it's funny that the tapes got released today, where the experts came in and said, "Yeah, that's the kid yelling, 'Help me!'"
Yeah.
And you can tell that from day one that it's not a guy, it's not an older
Right.
man yelling, "Help me, help me! This little kid is attacking me." No.
Yeah.
And the police should have questioned it in the first place. But I think, when the Black Panthers came out and said, we're going to put a bounty on this man's head, that's wrong.
Oh, I
That's wrong.
totally missed that.
That's wrong. Yeah,
I agree,
the
that's wrong.
Black Panthers has $1 million bounty on his head. Spike Lee
Spike Lee
posted the wrong address because he's a jackass, but he posted Zimmerman's address on his Twitter account, or what he thought was Zimmerman's address, and
It's this
said,
poor elderly
I want,
couple.
go out and kill Zimmerman. Like, the thing that's getting
Well,
me-
that was probably an April Fool's Day joke on Spike Lee's
Well,
part.
Just a week early.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah.
But that's
It's
the point, though,
proactive.
is they're making it like, but kids are getting killed every day anyway. Like, this happens every day, and it not that it's a neighborhood watch and a kid walking home from a store, but it's just people are getting killed all the day, no matter what race they are. Shit like this is happening, and they're making a big deal out of this, and people are they're making it into a race issue where more people are going to get killed. Did you see the thing about the looting in the Walgreens? That
So
people
don't
went in?
report on it? Because
No, I'm not
I
saying.
don't-
I'm saying the media themselves, and it's
Well,
both
it's an
Fox,
interesting story.
both CNN, but I'm saying every media, they're causing the race war themselves, like because they're putting each other against each other.
I
The looting of the
disagree.
Walgreens was not a race thing, though.
What was
It
that?
was there was a
protest.
sale on Coke.
Is that what was selling Coke? Coke Zero was on sale, so they all rushed in. No, but it's because you're getting and one thing I noticed too is some of the 911. I never heard the Coon part. I gotta watch some of the other.
Well, that's
like,
because you
stuff.
watch Fox News.
Because I watch
That's one
CNN.
channel that does
I watch other news.
actually, he was saying Bruce.
Bruce.
Scoot.
But the-
He was saying Scoot.
Scoot. He was saying Scoot.
Goddamn
But, like,
Scoot.
Like NBC edited the 911 tape to make it seem like because the dispatcher actually says to Zimmerman, is he white, black, or Hispanic? And CNBC or one of the NBC news is they actually take that part out, so you have Zimmerman saying he's a black man without them asking the question. So they were questioning why NBC even edited that part of it.
Mhm.
Now Fox is editing the Coon part out.
Oh, of course.
So you're not seeing that on but why did NBC edit that part? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The media themselves, they're making a circus out of it, which is giving misinformation from both ends.
Mhm.
And that's what I don't agree with. I think they should just, can we just have one channel that isn't left or right and just be like,
Well, that's supposedly
you know,
That's
is
CNN.
CNN.
yeah, but CNN isn't, like,
I think they generally
Yeah.
do a pretty good job of walking the middle.
because they tend to, again, is it Headline News is the only one that isn't, like,
But that's
So the-
headline news is a CNN.
no, but I'm
part
saying
of
though, I know
CNN.
they're CNN, but I'm saying for CNN, are they the one that's in the middle because it's just the headlines and it's just the bam, bam, bam?
They avoid-
There's no
avoid
commentators on there.
Yeah,
It's
they
basically
they
just-
avoid opinion journalism.
Yeah.
Pretty well, in my opinion. I think they do a good job.
Or is Bloomberg another one of those ones that's kind of in the middle? Is that another place to get the news when there's nothing really?
Bloomberg, I
reported?
thought
Well, that's
was-
financial mainly, isn't it?
But they do major news events too.
Okay.
not just
Yeah. See,
financial.
I've never paid enough attention to Bloomberg to form any kind of
You know,
opinion.
'cause is that another one of those ones that you can actually tune into and actually get like the straight story without
Maybe.
having? Because it's like because I'll watch the entertainment shows on Fox. I'm not calling the news shows
Right.
because O'Reilly isn't really a news show. Hannity's not a news show, and they
No.
don't call themselves news shows.
Right.
They're commentary shows. They're entertainment shows.
Right.
And just like when I watch Bill Maher is not a news show. It's an
Right.
entertainment show.
Right.
And I'm watching both, those shows. Hannity has been harping on it every night, where he's playing his side of the thing, because he has his shows every night have been, let's show how bad Obama is. We're vetting the president until election night.
Of course.
He focuses on the half of that, and then the other half he's been focusing on how the liberal media is causing a race riot on the whole thing. So he's being just as bad.
Yeah.
On the right side by basically cutting out Coon, and basically,
Of course.
and they show the Black Panthers footage continuously on his show, where it's the same three guys saying, "We're going out, we're killing Zimmerman. We have Hollywood actors. We have I don't know if you've seen the clip. It's a funny clip because the Black Panthers are like, we have Hollywood stars, we have athletes, we have Black America that we're got $1 million bounty. We're going to go out and kill Zimmerman."
Wow.
And
That's over the top. Are you sure?
And
Are they
it's-
really Black Panthers, or is this some sort of
no, it's the Panthers.
Is it some sort of performance art?
It's the Panthers because it is the Panthers, and
Yeah.
it's
Wow. I didn't know they even still existed as an organization, to be honest.
Black Power.
Okay, so there's nothing about Zimmerman being in the military, just dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. So I think you have to be in the military to have post-traumatic stress disorder, don't you? I mean,
No.
Well, no, you could have a brain
Yeah, you
Okay.
could.
accident. Yeah. or something.
Women have it after they've
Do
been
they?
raped.
All right.
Uh,
So he
Yeah.
may have post-traumatic stress disorder, but he wasn't. But there is nothing saying that he was in the military.
I guess I'll have to rely on the
I mean-
QCE News to have an independent station.
So there you go.
Yes,
Maybe that's what it
yes.
is.
Well, can anyone really rely on?
And then the other thing I'm saying, Bloomberg is like Forbes.
Okay.
Many conservatives would disagree that CNN shows both sides. Well, of course, but from,
well, because conservatives believe that anything other than Fox News and conservative talk radio is the liberal media,
Yeah.
or the media
But
elite, to use Newt Gingrich's
But that's
term.
that's been my complaint
But that's
though
his
about this
campaign.
whole
Yes.
story though, and
Yes.
even Oprah goes on her show or she'll go on other shows and she'll be sitting there going on and on and on about, just this is like we need to get justice for this, we need to string him up. It's like they want to.
Oprah said we need to string him
we
up.
need to hang him up.
I
We
don't
need to
think
get a
Oprah
lynch,
said
we need to get
that.
a lynch mob after him. It's like but it's just I think. I'm not saying that the world's going to turn into a giant race riot where there's going to be like.
I think
like
it would
the-
be funny if
like-
Oprah
Well,
said
I
I
don't
will
think-
after November.
But I'm saying though, I don't think it's going to be like what happened with Rodney King. Remember what the riots with Rodney
Yes.
King?
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as that. It can though. We can get to that
Sure.
situation with this because it's a young kid
Oh,
or a
sure.
17-year-old kid. But I'm just saying the thing that's disgusting me is it's the media and it's the way people are handling it that's driving me crazy because it's like a poor kid died. These parents they're not the ones that are out there saying they just want justice served.
Mhm.
They want to find out
Right.
what happened, and they're the only ones that have a right to be angry and upset because their child died because of some overzealous guy with a gun who shouldn't have been following this kid in the first place because he's a neighborhood watch guy that has no rights whatsoever to even arrest anybody. What does a neighborhood watch guy do? He's supposed to call the police.
They're
Isn't that what
supposed to
neighborhood watch-
observe and report.
That's all they're supposed
They're
to
not
do.
supposed to
They're supposed
confront.
to look and call, and that's it.
Yep.
So he should be, based on that information, he should be arrested for that because he went over what he was supposed to do.
Well,
You
legally,
know.
if I understand correctly, legally, he had every right to disobey the instruction from the 911 operator because he's not obligated to follow what they say.
Yeah, but isn't that if it's only under that self-defense law?
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
Well, no, he shouldn't. I mean, he never. I don't think legally he had a
He had
right,
no right to
draw
shoot
his
him.
gun,
Right.
obviously, or anything. But when they told, if I understand this correctly, when they said don't pursue him, don't follow him,
Mhm.
he was not legally obligated to say okay, I won't. Because the 911 operator has no legal authority to say that.
'Cause they're just dispatchers.
Or even if the police say don't pursue,
Mhm.
you can still pursue, at least in Florida. He's not legally obligated to not pursue.
Okay.
Obviously, he shouldn't have confronted him legally. I mean, none of this should have happened, but I'm saying legally specifically. He didn't do anything illegal by pursuing him, if I understand correctly.
So he wasn't breaking a law.
By drawing his gun and shooting him, he
Drawing the
certainly
gun-
did something
Didn't do
illegal.
that, unless it was based on stand your ground, which the evidence is starting to prove that there was no self-defense involved.
Right.
And of course you had people coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden saying, oh, like on his defense, oh, I was there, I witnessed the whole thing, where they had that John or whatever there.
John.
That there
Is
was
it
just
John Oliver?
Well, did they give a last
I
name?
know
Because what
it's-
I saw it was just like John.
I know
and it was the guy that was like
John
hidden-
Oliver is the one from Comedy Central. But
Daily
I thought it was the same last name.
But they had this one guy that was like that showed up out of the blue that said, "Oh, I saw the whole
Who was
thing," and
a
he was
former Florida newscaster.
yeah.
Saw the whole thing out his window or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I
you
saw
know,
the
who
whole
wants-
thing. And then
wants his own
like
show.
20 minutes after he came out, the girlfriend said, "Well, I was on the phone with him the whole time, Tavon, and Tavon was telling me on the phone that, you know, he was being chased by this crazy lunatic with a gun." So it was like all of a sudden these people came out of the woodwork with all this stuff. It's like, well, where were they like back in February when this happened? Where were
Right.
these people? Why is it coming out now?
Sorry.
So
Rodney King.
no, I'm
I'm
agreeing with what Peter's saying. That's true. Rodney King is not a great example
No.
of that.
When you go on Celebrity Rehab, I think
Yeah.
all of your credibility is shot out the window.
But it's like, I'm not sitting here spouting any hate speak in any way or anything like that. I'm just saying the way this is being
Why do
handled.
all Republicans say that?
No, but I'm saying the way it's being handled. Yeah, but I'm going against the Republicans by saying this too.
To his credit,
I know.
Dan
deserves
criticized Fox News. Which,
Because
Dan,
it's-
that makes you a bad
It
Republican.
makes me
You're
a bad Republican. I'm a bad Republican because
How dare you speak bad
I'm getting
of the
annoyed
mothership.
I'm getting annoyed with both sides of this because it's
Yes.
not a white-black thing, and they're making it a white-black thing though, and it's not a race issue. The whole thing's not about race.
You think if he was a
It's
white
about
punk,
hoodies.
You think he was a
motherfucker.
white punk with a hoodie?
No, but you know what though?
George
If
Zimmerman
it was,
still would
if
have
it
shot
was,
him?
what do you think would if it was the opposite? If it was a black guy, if it was a black neighborhood watch man that shot a white guy,
You would
How
be
it's
arrested
my
right
brother.
away.
do you think
Oh,
that
it's my
black guy would
brother.
be in jail right now? Probably.
Yes.
Oh, of
He'd
course,
probably be
yes.
in jail. He'd probably be on death row right now.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the police. But
So how is it not a race?
But it's not.
If Trayvon was a white
But is it
punk hit
because he's a
where everybody-
Hispanic neighborhood watch guy? Is that why nothing's happening? What's going on? Why is he? That's what I'm saying. Nobody points out that he's Hispanic.
Those half
Is it because
Hispanics,
he's
you
neighbor?
can't
Is he
trust them.
Zimmerman?
You
Because
can't
Zimmerman's
trust
not a
those half
Hispanic
Hispanics.
name. Is that what it is?
Are the police
What is
there
it?
just racist and don't
Zimmerman
like
sounds a little
blacks?
Jewy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Hebrewy.
is that what it is? Are they afraid? Are they afraid of the Jews?
No offense to our good friend who
You know?
is Jewish man from Amsterdam.
But I'm just saying. Is
Just
that,
realized Joel
is
Albert
that-
might be listening.
no, but is that what they're afraid? I mean, what
It
made
might
the
have been the
police?
Skittles.
But I mean, what made the police like totally ignore this? Is what I'd like to know. What made the police in Florida? Were they just that
Because,
lazy?
well, racism is pretty rampant down there, and they say they see a black kid get shot. That's
Like, they
one
just
less
don't
black
care.
kid that they
They
just
have to
don't
deal
care.
with.
It is the South.
Yeah.
They just didn't care about it. Even though that there's black, when you look at the people they interview from the police force, there's black cops. Like, are those black
Well,
cops?
those are the good ones.
Are those? Is that? Are they the man?
Those
are
are
they
the house.
But no, what I'm saying
Yes.
though, the people that were involved in the
Thank you for understanding
situation,
that reference.
Yes.
That
the
was-
house,
that's
the
pretty
house
awful. I'm
cops.
sorry for
What?
that. My friend who was visiting from Mississippi was telling me that when he and his friends would go out drinking, they would point out black people and say which one were they, the house
The house.
or the field.
Yes.
Officer Tom.
What I'm saying though,
But they
those
would use the
Officer Tom is that what you're
Yes.
saying? So Officer Tom, like the ones that they show that are being interviewed though that were involved in this case, why weren't they speaking up? Why wouldn't they say, hey, why wouldn't they question this?
Well, no one wants to
Are they
lose their,
afraid?
their pension.
You know?
Mm.
But it's just, I just think that I think the media is handling it in a bad way. I think they shouldn't be making it like, I think they should cover the story.
I think it
shouldn't
already
be,
is
It should be under the thing, but I think with a lot of with the left and the right or whatever news is broadcasting it, and I'm going to watch more of CNN and see how they're handling it. But I just think and stuff I see on people's Facebook walls, it's like people are from different sides of Facebook. They're putting
Well, what would you rather see? Would you rather see this story not be as big nationally as it is? Aside from the race thing.
Well, I'm wondering, are they
Or would
making a
you
big
see-
deal of it because they're trying to keep it away from some other political stuff? Right?
Well, of course, there's always
You know?
that. But would you also rather see every time this happens? Because, yeah, it does happen every day in America.
Yeah.
Someone of minority and somebody from a majority as well is shot.
Huh.
Would you rather see every news outlet start every day making a big case out of every person that gets shot?
No, I don't think they need to make a big case out of every person that gets shot. But I mean, because there's people dying every day overseas in the war. There's people dying. I mean, there's people dying in other countries of hunger.
And I think as Americans, we've grown accustomed to the fact that we're not going to find out what's really happening in Afghanistan and Iraq.
We have people like, I'm sure if we look at the statistics, there's probably somebody getting shot right now somewhere in this country as we speak.
Yeah,
there's somebody getting shot right now. But I mean, it's the thing I also saw that was really offensive, and this was on Fox News as well, and it's not something they did, but it was a report. You got censored. What is he saying?
I think Dick Dark.
Oh, is that what you put? That's what they said.
Thank you, Peter White, for
you saying Dick Dark.
Officer Dick Dark.
The gun people are putting money to Zimmerman's legal defense. I don't know if it's the NRA, but there was something.
Are there a lot of black NRA members? I don't know the answer to that.
I really doubt it.
Well, no, because most black people get their guns on the streets. They get them, I mean, that's true. They're not registering with the federal government. Let's be honest.
Right. If there were no Second Amendment, only black people would have guns.
Come on, really.
Let's be honest.
No, but there is a true statistic, though. Did you know gun sales did go up when Obama got elected president?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Gun sales went up, and registered permits and guns, that went up when we got a black president. That it skyrocketed. People got afraid.
Well, I think part of that is because Republicans believe that Obama's going to magically whisk everyone's guns away.
Abolish the.
Well, Republicans I talk to,
and fried chicken.
I've never heard Obama say a single thing about wanting
to about gun control.
No, but Republicans
no,
but
what was funny was when Reagan got shot and the Brady bit, there was gun control got talked about from the Republican angle back then, if you remember.
Yes.
And it was from a Republican angle.
One of their own.
And none of the Republicans, but I'm saying though, none of the Republicans were running scared then.
Right.
And then all of a sudden we have a black president.
Well, because everything is
who
so
never mentioned gun control.
Right. But everything is so polarized and extreme now.
But it's like
everyone's so extreme in their thinking.
Yeah.
If you're a Republican, you're pretty much required by the bylaws of your party to believe that Obama is a secret Muslim born in Kenya who wants to have Sharia law and who's going to take your guns away and turn us all into communists and whatnot. That's the narrative.
Oh, the good news about the Black Panthers, I just got a text. They do a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Club.
All right.
That's positive. They do positive things besides putting
bounties. And I'm sure the NRA puts money towards positive things as well.
They do. But I saw this, and I saw the thing on the news that said they were giving like $10,000. And again, it's not the NRA. I don't want to blame the NRA for something.
I don't know if it was a shadow or what, but it looked like someone was coming down the stairs.
But I don't know if it's the NRA, but some gun lobby is putting money towards Zimmerman's defense.
Yeah.
Because they're all promoting the fact that we're supporting this guy having a gun. Again, it's like that's not the point. The guy I'm all for people having You should have a right to have a gun if you know how to use it and you're not using it to kill innocent people. If you want to, if you're licensed, if you purchase it legally and you're licensed,
that asshole that shot the Manchester officer. Illegally.
Yeah. If you're using it for self-defense and protection, which he wasn't using it.
Right.
I mean, obviously, I'm not taking Zimmerman's side. Don't anybody think I'm taking Zimmerman's side. I think the guy should go to jail for murder.
Of course.
Because I don't think the guy should have been there in the first place. But he should have called the police and said, I got a suspicious guy with some Skittles.
Arizona
and iced tea.
And some iced tea.
Hoodie.
In a hoodie. I don't know what he's doing. He may be up to no good. I'm going to continue driving around, doing my job, looking at what's going on in the neighborhood. Because I'm a neighborhood watch guy, I'm supposed to watch, okay? And that's it. And that's what he should have done, and he should have let it go.
On the opposite side of that, he could have been like the kind of guy who watches.
Well, that's what I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering if he's like,
take it off.
If he's like De Niro in Taxi Driver, if he's just itching, he's going crazy, and he's just waiting for that moment, and he's thinking in his head, one of these nights, I'm going to get one of these little coons, I'm going to get one of these little boys, and it's like, and maybe that was his night to pop. But the only other thing I'm thinking of with Zimmerman right now, though, maybe he's sitting at home in his head going, I killed a guy. maybe he's going through this remorse. Maybe he's going through this horrible thing through his life because he did murder somebody. Maybe he's got this really bad situation
Yeah,
going on.
he probably does.
You know, and maybe he's got this horror because everybody's been talking about, well, he's not coming out, he's not talking to anybody, he's not doing anything. Maybe he's going through hell because he murdered a kid. You know, maybe he was one of these idiots that gets a gun and then when he goes to use it, and I mean this is a bad analogy, but I knew this dickhead who always wanted a motorcycle because everybody had one. He thought it was cool. So he goes out, he gets a motorcycle without getting his motorcycle license, without even getting on a motorcycle for the first time. He runs right out, gets on a fucking motorcycle, crashes the thing immediately because he buys it, doesn't even go to a dealership. He goes and buys one off of like a frickin', you know, this is before Craigslist. He gets it off a magazine ad or whatever, you know. Drives right off. It reminds me of the ads they show for Geico, whatever insurance it is.
Yeah.
He goes and buys one secondhand, takes the goddamn motorcycle, drives away, crashes immediately right after getting the motorcycle. Just because it's the same mentality with getting this fucking gun. You know,
Yeah.
Zimmerman probably goes, oh, I gotta get a gun, I'm neighborhood watch, you know. Who knows? Maybe he wanted to be a cop. You know what I mean?
Just to interject for a second because we got Peter White in the chat room talking up a storm. I got in trouble back in 1980 in 5th grade. I called the only black kid in class the class chocolate bar. True story. Got into a lot of trouble. Thank you.
But that's not a racist comment.
That's
No,
not
that's not.
Chocolate in moderation has health benefits.
Yes.
We
I
have
would
your
not,
heart.
Joyful Gov in the chat room as well.
Joyful Gov.
I don't know. When I hear Gov, I immediately think of you. It's not you.
Joyful
You're
Gov.
the People's Gov in Maine, right?
I think I did see him playing over in the Ustream chat room over there.
Ah.
Oh, and by the way, our good friend Peter White has been trying to get your attention in the chat room, Glenn.
Has
Been saying, hi, Glenn.
Has he?
Yep.
Ah.
But you know, I don't know. I personally think I don't know if there's going to be riots. If you know, I don't think it's going to be that.
A Walgreens that got looted is not a riot.
No. And I mean, and how many people went into that Walgreens? Was it a lot of? I mean, I'm not saying shopping. I'm talking about the people that went in and looted it. I'm saying how
It was
many
like
people,
7:30 in the morning, so it was probably like all just the senior citizens.
But I'm saying how many people that actually did the looting? Wasn't it only like 10 or 15?
Oh,
people?
it was his friend, Peter's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
It's always the
Yeah,
friend.
it's always a friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think the way it's being handled, I think it just should be put it in the hands of the law. Let the law take care of it now. Let the federal government take care of it. Let them do what they want to do. And I guess somebody got upset too because Obama made a comment. And they made that a race issue because he said, you know, take on because he looks like me or something. Or
I talked
my
about-
son.
He could have been my son.
Yeah.
I talked about that on Unleashed today. I'm very upset because Obama, in my opinion, what he said was completely appropriate. He was expressing empathy
Yeah.
for the family who, you know, this kid is dead, and he's saying, you know, he understands, you know, this was a young black teenager, and he I thought it was a great comment. He said, you know, if I had a son, he would look like
him.
like him,
which
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
And but
Because
then
the kid does kind of look like a, not in a
Right.
racist way. He does kind of.
right.
Yeah.
Right, and I thought it was a very nice observation that he made. And then Gingrich, this is what pissed
That's
me
what it
off.
was. It was Gingrich.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
then
it was.
Gingrich is saying, "Oh, that's a reprehensible comment," and what is our president saying? This is appalling. Is he saying that he only cares because it was a black kid who got murdered?
Yeah.
He should be upset if a child of any race got murdered. I'm like, oh my god. That's not even remotely what he was saying or trying to say.
But that's-
Gingrich is what a
but-
scumbag. He
but
just
that's
takes this
also-
and totally politicizes
But
it.
that's also like a couple weeks ago when De Niro made a comment at a fundraiser
Yes.
about, you know, we don't want another white first
But
lady
that
in
was
the
a
office
joke.
as a joke. No, but I'm saying
Right.
Gingrich was the one that got
Oh,
offended by it.
Yes, yes.
That's what I'm saying. Gingrich jumps up all in that thing. Well,
Right.
Robert De Niro needs to apologize
Right.
to my wife and Rick Santorum's wife
Right.
and Mitt Romney's wife because that's racist.
Yeah.
That's
But
a
he
horrible
knows-
statement.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. Is Robert De Niro is going to apologize.
Well, he did. He ended up.
I know.
He ended up doing
But
it.
he knows
But
what
it
he's
was-
doing. Like Gingrich knows
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
He knows,
But it was
and he's
just like he
playing
did
to
it-
his
but
base.
I
This is
agree
why
with
he's
that.
taking
That
it
was
all
like-
the way to Tampa.
The
Yes.
whole, because when I saw the thing Obama said, Obama he wasn't making it a race issue.
No.
He wasn't taking a side at anything. He was basically saying the empathy for the parents.
Right.
And that's all we should be caring about is the
Right.
parents.
Yes.
We should be caring. We should be siding with the parents. And that's one of the things that I love O'Reilly about. Because if you see anything about where O'Reilly's talking about on this, O'Reilly isn't taking sides. He's not doing the Fox News thing where he's showing all this footage of, he does show the Black Panther stuff. He does show some of that stuff because he's pointing out what people are doing.
Sure.
But O'Reilly is siding with the parents and saying the only people that should be outraged and are the parents. And he's siding with the parents. And he's had people on his show. He's had the lawyers for the family. He's had, like, the different lawyers involved. He's had, like, police people. He's had all these people involved. And his mentality's been, let's just let the people do their job. Let's find out. Nobody was there. Let's find out. None of us were there. None of the media was there. Now let's just find out what comes of it. Hopefully there's a verdict. Hopefully, they decide to bring the guy in. He gets, and something, they'll get arrested for something, manslaughter or whatever they end up doing it as. But I mean, can we take his gun away at least?
But I have to disagree, though, with the premise that the only people who should be upset are his parents. Shouldn't people be outraged that the Sanford, Florida police,
we should be upset.
if they had their way, just, whatever.
The people that live in that area, the people that live in Florida should be outraged, I think. The people that live in that,
yes.
People should be outraged that the police. I mean, I personally am not a big fan of the police force.
We know.
Anyway, I'm not a fan of the police force. I think most police.
You got sodomized with the baton. We know that.
Well, you should have been wearing that hoodie.
I should have been wearing that. But I'm saying, though, I think police racial profile. I think they do. I think in some aspects, I agree with racial profiling in some aspects. After 9/11,
you think
at the airport
should be screened extra carefully?
I'm saying anybody that looks suspicious. I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, like
common sense should win out over political correctness.
If you walk in and you got you got a jacket on and you're bulging at the pockets, yes, you should be called aside.
Yes.
If you're sweating and you're acting nervous, you should be pulled aside.
I'm
not talking about looking at the person's color. I'm not talking about looking at like if they're wearing a turban or not. I'm talking about a properly trained person can look at somebody and see signs of nervousness. They can see, if they properly train people, they can see the little ticks or little things about that person. And they can have properly trained people pull people aside, and that's profiling.
That's what the Israelis do. And there's no terrorists getting on airplanes at an Israeli airport. That's for sure. Yeah.
And it's not, and that's what they need to do. They need to properly train their forces to do that.
Yeah.
And they don't. They just basically say, all right, if he's black wearing a hoodie, grab him. If he's of an Indian descent wearing a hoodie, grab him. It's like that's not
right.
A
different kind of brown.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of brown.
What can brown do for you? Matt in the chat room was talking about next we're going to be strip searched at the airport. Well, they already pull you aside for special screening anyway. Yeah. But the two airports that I've been through recently, Logan and Atlanta, both have the full body scan where you have to put your arms up.
Is that the X-ray thing?
Yeah.
I could probably hide a bomb in my chest hair.
You could.
Probably could.
Pretty hairy, yeah. I probably could. Yeah.
You definitely could.
Or at the very least, a box cutter.
I got lost in your chest hair once. It was not fun trying to get out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really kind of weirded out by the whole experience, to be honest.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean,
Do we have an update? Or?
I got something about learnaboutguns.com, and it's saying something about the racism, the NRA, and gun owners, and the NRA is not racist. And it says, I and many of my fellow black gun owners would not be members. So it actually goes on about it's an actual gentleman from the NRA who's an African American gentleman or a black gentleman who goes on about the
this chat room was getting out of hands.
The NRA. So
Peter White saying apparently believe it or not, there is a black Peter White in Manchester.
Really?
I thought our Peter White was the black Peter White of Manchester.
There's a black Peter White.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other Peter White should change his name to Peter Black.
Peter
Black.
Black.
Just make things easier for all of us.
That would be because he might get arrested for being being black.
That's true.
That's true. But that's the thing though. I think it's just my hatred of police though has nothing to do with the baton up the anus. It has nothing to do with that because that was just a good Saturday night.
That was.
That was just a fun time.
You kind of liked it.
My only complaint is that they didn't loop it up for you.
I just enjoy it. A lot of the, and I'm sure there's some nice police officers out there. I've met some. I've actually known some good ones, but there's some really hideous police officers out there that have used their power, and it's just
like
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot
I don't think they deserve to be able to go into a restaurant and get free food just because they're a police officer. Now, the gentleman that got shot, the officer that got shot 5 times by that scumbag. For the rest of his life, if he wants free food, by all means, because he was protecting and serving and he took a bullet, by all means.
5.
He took 5 bullets, by all means. I honor that gentleman there because he actually served in the life. But the guy that sits behind a desk and punches a bunch of numbers in a computer and never, and you know what I mean, just sits there and doesn't do anything to serve and protect, I don't think should sit there and say, you know what, because I'm a cop, I deserve free food from you. I want somebody to earn their free food because freedom is not free. Does that make any sense?
And neither.
Wow.
There you go.
We'll see what anybody in the
There you
chat room has
go.
to say about
There you
that.
go. Well, you know what I'm talking about, though. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think just because you wear a badge, you should be getting free stuff. Why? Why? I took a kitten out of a tree once.
Oh,
Does
badge.
that get me
I'm
something
sorry,
free?
I thought you said badge.
No. Does that get me something
Women
free?
don't deserve anything.
For saving a kitten from a tree, does that get me a free donut?
Women
No.
do get free drinks.
You know,
very often.
they do. They get free drinks.
Yeah.
They have ladies' nights.
Yes.
You know, come on. You know, what is this?
There's
This thing
some
I always
talk-
play at Professor Plum.
Colonel Mustard did it with the wrench in this study. I don't know.
I think they're talking about the thing up the anus. Maybe the wrench. Colonel Mustard did it with the wrench.
Was that the cop's name was Colonel Mustard? Was that?
It's Officer Doherty.
Wow,
wasn't
Police
it?
colonel?
the Joyful Gov says freedom is not free. Wow.
That's right.
I'm reminded of that every day.
Freedom's-
Joyful Gov. I wonder who could that
I
be.
no, see, I agree. If you put your life in line of duty, you should get something free. But if you're not doing something to put your life in line, like firefighters should get something free.
Yes.
Yes.
Soldiers should get something free.
But who's to say that cop who's sitting at the desk doesn't risk getting, like a paper cut? A
Paper
very
cut.
serious
But
paper
I'm saying,
cut
no, but
that
you
could
know,
destroy his career.
But I'm talking about the ones that had the attitude, just
And they
because
dip
they
some
are
lemon
a cop.
juice.
The ones that just, the ones that walk in and say, you know what, it should be the person in the restaurant that makes that decision to say, you know what, you're a police officer. I appreciate you doing what you're doing here. The check's on me. I don't like the cop that walks in and demands.
Oh, yeah,
that's what I'm
that is
talking about.
absolutely
That's what I'm
right.
talking
But
about.
have you
and I think
witnessed
I came
this?
off that wrong.
Have you
Yes.
witnessed a cop walk into a
Yes.
restaurant and say, "I demand free food"?
I have seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just like the celebrities who get offended
That's what
when
I'm
they're not
talking about.
recognized.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that. It should be up to the business owner to make that judgment decision to say, oh, here's Officer, Henderson walking in the door. Officer Henderson,
Officer
today you're gonna get your burger for free because I appreciate everything you do. And the instance that I'm talking about was in Concord at Bear Right when Bear Right was open.
Really?
I remember going to a Bear White. Wow, I'm getting racist. I called it Bear White. That's a slip. That's
They
a
didn't
Freudian.
allow
the White House
Wait a
White.
minute.
Black people in the bear
Uh-oh.
white.
They
That's
didn't.
for sure.
No, it was. I was with. In fact, he was a former Wade.
Oh yes.
Former neighbor of mine. He used to
Similar
work-
last name to
Yes, yes, he did.
the Joyful
He
Gov?
lived. He worked at that Burger King in
Yes.
Bear Right.
yes.
I was in there visiting him one day, and one of Concord's finest walked up. He rung him up, said it's $6.25. I ain't paying $6.25. I'm a police officer. You give me my food for free. That right there gave me a bitter taste in my mouth because why would you say that? It should have been the manager of that Burger King. It should have even been, Wade was nobody. He was just some punk kid behind
Right.
a counter.
Right.
It should have been the manager should have walked over to Wade and said, you know what, Wade, this is Officer such and such. He does such a fine job. He's a police officer. His food's for free.
Mhm.
Instead, the cop, before anything gets even, I have to pay for my food. It's that type of elitist attitude.
Right.
That's what I don't like. And if one cop said that in front of me, I'm not saying every single cop is guilty.
Right.
But I see that, and that was one time I saw that. I've seen other instances with cops.
Mhm.
I've been hassled by cops in my past. And the cops that I've been hassled by, I got robbed. And I got robbed in my apartment because I own nice things. The cop said to me, it's your fault for having nice things. So we're not allowed to own nice things?
It's entrapment, Dan. You were
You know?
entrapping that.
I was
burglar.
entrapping that burglar by owning
Yes.
nice things.
Yes.
Because I was in the hi-fi industry, so I had nice stereo equipment and nice video equipment. So and the cop comes when I get robbed, and I said, hey, and this happened around the same time that a friend of mine I worked with had his car stolen. The guy had a Mustang with nice stereo equipment. The cop even said to him, well, you shouldn't own a Mustang. This is all Manchester police, by the way. You shouldn't own a Mustang with this high-end audio system. No wonder your car got stolen. does that mean we're not allowed as citizens of Manchester, as citizens of this country, to have nice things? Because we're basically saying to the criminals that we're supposed to be protected from, oh, I have to go and have shit in my life. I have to live like you because the police here are going to blame me.
Tell you what.
It's a victimless crime.
There's still burglars that can sue you if they get injured on your property.
Oh, of course. I love that. That's always great.
Tell you what, if you had George Zimmerman in your neighborhood, that wouldn't happen.
That wouldn't happen.
You'd have all the nice things you wanted.
That's
If
true.
white people were robbing you, then they'd still rob you.
Well, the funny thing is, the theft was there was no African Americans, there was no Latinos, it was white people that robbed me. I know who robbed me.
This is New Hampshire too.
Yeah, come on.
Well,
it was
statistically,
a little too cold that night, so we know it wasn't anybody of any color.
If you go through MUR's Most Wanted Wednesdays, it's at least 98% white guys that they're looking for.
And it's usually those ones that beat their
It's always
kids,
from
beat their
Franklin.
wives, and the meth dealers in Franklin. But it's like
you have good meth up there.
And I see Matt's thing here in the chat. It's like saying a woman wanted to get raped because she wore a slinky dress. It's the same type of thing, yeah. It's
She shouldn't have worn it.
Yeah,
She didn't want me to rape her.
But no, and my own personal experiences with Manchester. Concord police I like a little better than Manchester because I don't see as many dickheads in Concord when I've talked.
No, I like the Concord police.
And but Manchester I've seen more and more dickheads every day with just their attitude, and that's one of the reasons why I was trying to get the cop block guys and stuff. Like I think they've left town at this point because I haven't really seen any of them around. But I was appreciating what they were doing.
They've been on Amsterdam.
Recently though, because I know
not recently.
That's
but
what I'm saying.
while
I think they left town. I don't think they're around here anymore because I haven't seen them around much. But the
cops ran them out.
They did. They ran them out. But it's just I think that there's a lot of police forces out there that are corrupt, and it's just that's one of the things where I'm sure that Florida police force. I'm sure there's a lot of corruption there. I'm sure there was a lot of what are you doing?
Commercial. Ustream commercial.
I was going to say, what is that? But I don't know. I think we have rights to own our guns, but you should know how to use it. You shouldn't be chasing kids with your guns, unless maybe he really wanted those Skittles. Maybe that's what it was.
Perhaps it was an
Taste
attempted
the rainbow.
robbery. Yes.
Taste the rainbow, Dan.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was trying to get the candy. Maybe he wanted that Arizona tea. So maybe he did. But I don't know. I just think the day's gonna come. They're all gonna come and get us. Oh no, we're gonna be all taken away.
What are you talking?
Talking
about aliens?
Oh yeah, they're all gonna come and get us.
The Fox News mothership.
The Fox News mothership. But no, I am disgusted by some of the programming on Fox News for the way they're handling some of it.
And we already missed our opportunity to get our own show on Current after Keith Olbermann was fired on Friday.
He got fired on Friday. What did he do this time?
Elliot Spitzer got picked up.
What did he do? What did he do to get fired on Current?
He's probably being a whiny bitch again.
I part of it from what I read was.
See, and I had to take what you were saying a couple weeks ago with a grain of salt, where you're saying that many people have said that he's a crybaby and everything.
He's very difficult, yeah.
But now I'm seeing all these things. Even
he
Al
gets
Gore
fired
is
from every single
saying,
show.
He took 19 days off in February, apparently. He didn't want to work Super Tuesday, which is
there's a
strange.
lot of unprofessionalism because there was shoddy camera work and things that weren't going that way.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I wouldn't be doing Lit at Large Got Global.
That's true.
See, you should have stayed here.
He left the room for a second.
He left the room, oh no.
But I heard something interesting. Apparently, he had kind of ceded his mantle anyway as being the marquee name on Current TV because the Young Turks at this point are pulling a higher rating anyway. Cenk Uygur and those guys.
Yeah.
Good
now
for them.
They've got the two new programs, the Bill Press show and the Stephanie Miller show in the mornings as well. So he's got that to contend with.
Yes.
Oh,
but
14 total views so far. All right, this could be our number one episode.
So it says here. So it basically just says his latest firing. His outspokenness on Countdown may make him a darling of some on the left, but his media career has been nothing if non-consistent.
Yeah. There's a lot that hasn't come out yet. I mean, it sounds like there might be some litigation.
Yeah, he's saying something about there's a lawsuit. He's threatening a lawsuit over his dismissal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure somebody will pick him up, but
what's next? What's the other progressive?
Well, he got fired from Fox. He got fired from MSNBC. ESPN. Well, he left ESPN. He never got fired from ESPN. I'm trying to think where else he could go.
Would he be a counterpart to Bill Maher, or go to
Well,
HBO?
he could go to well, I don't think HBO would pick him up, but maybe if one of the other pay channels would want to maybe get him as a competition for like somebody
Or like
you know,
a once a week,
like
or
do like
weekly.
a show like a Bill Maher show. I think like maybe
QCE News will pick him up for free.
QC News is gonna pick him up.
Oh.
Wow,
No,
Who said that?
For free.
QCE News has a lot of
for free. Wow.
difficult talent already. To
So
deal with.
so Spitzer is gonna be the new host of or have his
Chris
own
Rose.
show.
Yes.
Yes. Spitzer and Swallows will be the
Spitzer and Swallows. That would be a good.
Because some people are already saying they're very skeptical of Spitzer because he already failed once. He had a show on was it CNN?
CNN.
But current I'm assuming is probably not that into the ratings
Right.
now.
Right.
Well, does
And
anybody
CNN
really? Do
was,
you
yes.
do you watch Current? Does anybody get Current?
I get current. It's
Yeah.
107 on Comcast.
But it's one of the ones that you have to
You have to look for
I
it.
was kind of.
But you
bummed
also have
because
to get the
after-
special package
Yeah.
for it, right?
After you told me on Friday that he was let go, I went home and Current actually still listed Countdown with Keith Olbermann, and I turned it on and Elliot Spitzer had already taken over, and he didn't even mention once in the show about Keith being fired.
Yeah.
And I was kind of bummed because I was like, now I wanted to see Keith. I kind of
Right.
now I already kind of missed Countdown with Keith Olbermann.
Right.
But
Maybe Netflix will pick him up as a.
Yeah.
They'll have an exclusive show.
he'll be the commentated version of Arrested Development.
Yeah, that's what Netflix is trying to do. Netflix wants to be they want to be their own network. Because they lost a lot of subscribers. Plus, they lost the Starz contract. They're losing a lot of like movies because they lost. I think they also lost Sony pull out a while ago too. So they don't have a lot of like Hollywood backing.
Yeah.
So they're doing more like TV shows, and they want to do more because they have that.
But
They have that
Hulu
Steven
Plus
Van
is-
Zandt. Well, they have that Steven Van Zandt. But I'm saying they want to do original programming. They have that Steven Van Zandt show that's on there now about the mobster that's in. Where'd he go? It's like he's in like Norway or something like that. He's in witness protection. There's like this like
Norway.
yeah, in Norway or something like that. They're going to bring in the Arrested Development, but maybe they would. Maybe Netflix would be like, hey, let's have a weekly political commentary
Maybe
show.
he'll go right on Ustream.
and do that. Yeah,
Maybe he'll go directly to Ustream.
Beyond, but who knows? But
It's just Keith Olbermann sitting in his underwear at home.
Because
Listen to what I have to say.
Netflix can pretty much afford to get him though. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
They would pick him up on a Netflix type of level where it's all he can do it on his own. Like he doesn't have to do it live. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
we'll do it live.
So
He doesn't have to do it live.
Don't have to
he
do it
can,
live.
He
Fuck
can
it.
sit. You're right. He can sit from his home. He can have his little tantrums at home. They could just go.
I'm telling you, wife beater and underwear.
You know that's. But there's a lot of stuff that I read about him through the years that he just he was a drama queen.
Hair disheveled.
and
He just not unshaven.
that would be
Here's my countdown right now. Bill O'Reilly sucks.
Well, he used to.
Bus
Didn't he,
sucks.
wasn't it like every week he would have like
Elliot
O'Reilly was
Spitzer.
always the word like
Oh, every night.
Every night it was like O'Reilly
Worst
was the worst
person in
person
the
in the world.
world.
O'Reilly, and then
Billow. He referred to him as Billow. Yes.
Billow.
Or Billow the clown.
And then I'm sure he could have he could be attacking Rush Limbaugh every night. He could be on Netflix and every night he could just be attacking Rush Limbaugh. I think that'd be perfect. Because I don't think anybody's really talking about Rush Limbaugh now. And has Rush Limbaugh come out about the whole Tavon thing?
I don't think
I
he wants to get into this right now.
Does he think?
I think he'd probably rather
You know.
stay far.
Has he been
far
smart
away
enough
from
to be
this.
quiet?
I think we know his position.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he giving $10,000
Trayvon
to
Martin
legal
Trayvon Martin was a
services?
slut. He was a slut and a prostitute.
He was asking for it with his hoodie. I mean, was he taking Geraldo's side? I mean, I still think Geraldo's statement was the stupidest statement anybody.
I disagree.
Even his son. Even his son.
I disagree,
Same.
guys. I defend Geraldo on that.
For saying the hoodie.
Here's the problem. I think people are overreacting to what Geraldo is saying because they're taking it as I think people are misunderstanding what.
Well, you're saying
Geraldo's trying to say.
Geraldo's saying it as
I think he should have clarified.
Yeah,
I think
Geraldo-
he wasn't being racist. He wasn't being like
No, not
he
at
wasn't
all.
being. He was basically making a political statement or making a statement about society, right? He was saying
Right,
that-
he's just saying it's about perception.
Yeah.
He was inartful in how he
Yeah.
chose his words because he said that the hoodie was every bit as much to blame
Yeah.
as George Zimmerman, and that was the wrong way to put it.
Yeah.
Right.
But people are taking that specific sentence literally,
Yeah.
and I think it's pretty clear
Well-
that's not really what Geraldo meant or was trying to say.
And this goes back to what Dan was talking to. Well, we have George Zimmerman, who was overzealous as a community watchman. Now we've got all these people who are turning it into a race issue.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're the ones who are now becoming overzealous and waiting for somebody to say something, to slip up. So, yeah, those people are the ones who are going to jump in on what Geraldo has to say.
Exactly. And I think there's been a huge overreaction and a backlash to Geraldo. And I've stuck up for him on my show because I think the substance of what I believe Geraldo meant and what he was trying to convey as inartfully and clumsily as he did, I think is right.
Yeah.
I think is true.
I mean,
Like he
black or
wasn't-
white, if I see a kid walking down towards me with the hood on,
Yes.
I'm going to be a little wary.
Yes, it's not just about race, because when I see white kids, like if I'm in a retail environment, if I'm in a store, and I see white kids walking in a climate controlled environment, but they got their
Well, they
hoods
shouldn't have
up,
the hood on inside. That's the problem.
Right,
Yeah, you
right.
shouldn't have your hood up.
because
inside.
then it's like, okay, why are you trying to conceal your identity?
Yeah.
Are you here to steal? Are you here to shoplift?
Well,
It's not even about race. But Geraldo is right. Minority kids especially,
Yeah.
if they're going to dress like that, with, like he said, with the hoods up and the pants halfway down their ass and whatever. What are people? Of course, people are gonna think.
Well, it's just like the kids that wear the bandanas around the face.
Mm-hmm.
There
Like,
should be
there's-
absolutely
there's like-
no
there's no
reason
reason.
unless you work in a fucking coal mine.
Like it makes no sense to me. And
to
you
be
know,
wearing a bandana.
one of the things that I go to every year is the
Or
Soul,
construction.
the Soul Fest every year, the Christian music festival every year.
Yeah.
And they they allow certain things and they do there's kids walking around with their hoodies on, and of course
Excuse me, we have a guest.
Oh,
We have a
guest.
surprise
A
guest.
surprise guest. But like they're kids walk around with their hoodies up and things like that. But recently there's been the kids walking around with bandanas around their
Yeah.
faces. And even in that type of atmosphere, even though it's supposed to be a Christian music festival, you kind of get nervous because you're kind of like, why are you covering your face? Now, granted, there's dust flowing up sometimes and things like that,
Yeah.
but still, why do you need to cover your face?
And there's that question. And again, unless you work in a coal mine or you work around drywall that goes all over the place,
Yeah.
why in the hell would you do it?
Why would you do it?
Are you
I
robbing a
offered.
stagecoach?
Yes.
Is that
Are
what
you an outlaw? Are you getting crazy?
Hi there.
She's yes, but she's not going to be on the air.
I tried to get her.
We have a special,
no.
I guess,
Glenn moved the
Guest
chair, but she's not.
audience.
She's off.
We have-
She's a guest
we have-
audience.
live audience in the house for us. It's Abstract 9. She's not in the chat room.
No.
She's here with us live.
She's live. She can applaud. We can have like
Yes.
live
Yes.
applause and all
Yes.
that. But no, I mean, I agree with the thing, but I think that a lot of people, when you're walking outside, it's okay to have a hood up, isn't it? Like you're allowed to wear a hood up, aren't you, outside?
In
You know?
inclement weather, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's summertime
Or if
and
it's
it's all
freezing.
shiny out and all that, you shouldn't be wearing a hoodie. Like, why would you wear a hoodie in the sunlight?
Right.
Like anyway, but but you shouldn't automatically judge somebody.
No, but I don't think. But again, just to go back to what Geraldo's saying, he's not saying that you should.
He was no.
But he's saying, but people
That's playing
do.
a part in it. Yeah, it's playing a
But
part.
people
in it.
do,
Yeah.
and I think he's right. Maybe Zimmerman wouldn't have been so quick. That in no way excuses Zimmerman.
If
No.
if Davon was walking home from the store, and he had on like an Abercrombie shirt or like an American Eagle Outfitters shirt on,
Mhm.
and a pair of nice
Which would look
khakis or
funny on a
something.
black dude.
No, but if he was wearing like a polo shirt, if he was wearing,
Right.
if he was just like Tiger Woods, okay, he had a red golf shirt
Yes.
on and black pants.
or Brian Gumbel.
And
Or
a visor.
Brian Gumble,
Yes.
and a visor. If he was walking home like that, do you think Zimmerman would still pursue him?
Well, he may have because I think
It
Zimmerman's
would've been-
crazy.
it would've
Maybe,
been-
and
yeah.
maybe Zimmerman wasn't even paying attention to
Right.
the clothes. Maybe he was.
Well, maybe
was
not.
nobody- was
But maybe
nobody
not.
in
We'll
the
never
skin.
know.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
You know, if he was if he was walking home like the picture they show of him, that picture of him in that red T-shirt, if he was walking home like that,
hmm
which it was probably cold. It was February, right? I'm sure it was cold. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, it was
been
February
like,
27th.
yeah, so it wasn't. You probably
Right.
wouldn't be walking like that. So the question would be, if he was walking home like that, would it have been the same situation? Would the hoodie have been, a factor? That's a
Yeah,
good
it may
question.
not have. It may not have.
But I mean, there are people that I know in my personal life, and I'm not going to name names or point any fingers, Chris Rose. But anyway, there are people that are quick to judge how people
Oh, yeah.
dress, and be
Oh,
like,
honey,
oh,
this?
yes,
No.
yes, but no, but you know what I'm saying. There are people that I know that will look like my nephews, for example. People will look at how my nephews dress and think they're hoodlums,
Mhm.
not knowing their background and not knowing that.
Not
they're-
saying
Right.
though.
No,
Right.
people look at Sam all the time and think he's a punk
Really?
because he wears a hoodie.
I don't think
He wears a hoodie.
I don't think of you
24/7.
like that, Sam.
Sam wears a hoodie 24/7. Like he doesn't wear up. He never walks into a mall with the hood up though, because you
Right.
don't wear a hood when you're inside the store. But
Right.
he dresses dark pants, dark skinny jeans, and a dark hoodie. Like he dresses emo. He dresses that way. People look at him and think he's a hoodlum or a punk,
Right.
and they'll question him. He's not a troublemaker. He doesn't.
No,
you know,
you're not.
He's
You're
not a. You know what
Is
I'm
he
saying?
watching?
Though?
'Cause,
But he does. He might be. I don't know. But the fact is though, if you looked at the way he dressed, and if you only based it on how he dresses, you would think he was a punk or a troublemaker. Same thing with my older nephew, Dave. Dave used to look like a stoner.
Mm-hmm.
He's never even seen, you know what I mean, a drug in his life. Because you would never know it, though, if you based it on how they dress.
Right.
And it's all, again, based on clothing. And I've had friends, I've had, girlfriends and that have met them and thought, oh, he's a druggie, huh? Your nephew's in trouble? He's a drug? I'm like, no, he's never seen a drug in his life. He's never done that. Oh, that one's, he must have been in trouble with the law multiple times. It's like, no, that's what they dress. Like, it's, again, to me, it's like, you should have a right to wear what you want to wear.
Of course.
As long as it's not an offensive, that's offensive. If you're wearing something that's offensive to something, like if you go into church wearing a T-shirt that says Jesus is a cunt, that's offensive. You shouldn't be doing that.
But you have a right to your opinion.
You have a right to wear it. It's your freedom of speech. But you should know where you're going to wear it.
Yeah.
You know
Know your audience.
Yes. You don't want to wear. That just. I was referencing when we went to see Alice Cooper with Christian, and that was the shirt that the guy was wearing in front of.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's familiar to me. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why I was saying that, because
Yeah.
we go with a very Christian gentleman to go see Alice Cooper, and he was very offended by a T-shirt that was in front of us.
Yeah.
And my point was, it was that gentleman's right
Sure
to
it
wear
wasn't
the.
Jesus.
No, it's a satanic group that had this shirt, and when you go see Alice Cooper, you have two types of people that go to see Alice Cooper, and because there are people that don't realize Alice Cooper's a Christian, because he doesn't go out and promote himself as a Christian performer, but he's a born again Christian. So you still have the people that think he's a Satanist, and they'll wear these shirts that are very like hardcore shirts. And we went to a show a few years back.
Yeah, it was at the Orpheum.
The Orpheum. And my point is you have a right to wear what you want to wear. It offended the person we were with, because he was a very Christian person. He was offended because it was a very blasphemous shirt. But it was, the point was, he was portraying his freedom of speech, the kid that was wearing the shirt.
Right.
He wasn't harming anybody, because there was other people probably in that crowd that supported that shirt of that band. It offended other people, I'm sure of, as well. And it was... And a few years later, I went and took my nephew to see Alice Cooper. The opening act was sitting there swearing, and it was funny because we were in a section where there was all these little families with little kids. And Wednesday 13 was the opening act, and Wednesday 13 comes out, and he's swearing up a storm and talking about fucking dead people. And I'm sitting there looking at these families, and I'm sitting there with my nephew laughing, because I'm like, these people do not realize that they brought their children to see Alice Cooper because he's the perfect Christian man here, but they don't realize that you're
In
going to
fairness, Alice has that song, Cold Ethel.
Yes, he does.
He
does.
I went to see when Brokeback Mountain first came out, saw it in the theater, and I saw people walk out. I'm like,
did they not know?
Did you not know? How did you not know?
I thought it was just a cowboy movie.
They thought it was
a
like a good old
Western.
Western. People,
and there's really only the one scene when they're in the tent, okay.
But
fine.
the
And
thing
then
is about that,
they
people
walked
go
out.
to see it because it got so much critical acclaim. They don't know about the movie. That's what I love about when people go see movies. Because they'll be like, oh, it's getting great write-ups, it's getting great reviews. They don't research it, then they get offended by it.
Yeah, are you sure they weren't walking out because they just weren't upset that they thought they were cowboys and it turns out they're sheep herders or something?
Oh, I'm sure that was the least of their worries.
Okay, well, I don't know.
That's what it was. They were all upset because it wasn't like correct. It wasn't like they were misinformed.
Yeah.
No, but I've seen that happen with movies before, though. People will go see a movie and they'll get so upset by the context of the movie. Like Crying Game was the same thing. Like, people get upset by Crying Game. And it's like, did you not read what the movie was about before you went to see it? It's like, the guy's a dude. He's a dude. It's like,
a lot of people didn't either. That was supposedly the
Yeah.
big surprise at that time.
Yeah.
We didn't have the internet to spoil it for us.
When I was a kid, my grandparents took me to see Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
My
Did you
parents-
walk out of
My
that?
parents took me
Were
to
your
see
grandparents
Three
like
Amigos.
shocked?
No, but I could tell they were a little uncomfortable.
Because there was a little topless scene.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
I don't think I don't think they expected that.
See, I remember my mother took me to see the movie To Live and Die in L.A. Has anybody ever seen that movie? It's one of the greatest.
I just remember the Wang Chung song.
Yeah,
I've never seen the film.
The film's a great movie,
Really?
and it's got William Peterson, who went on to like CSI.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything. But the movie's a great movie, and it's a great it's about treasury agents, and it's really good. And this was like, my mother takes me to go see this movie, and I wanted to go see this movie, and I convinced my mother. I'm like, we got to go see this movie because I've always loved the cop films and stuff like that. We go to see the movie. The dialogue of the film is trashy. Like there's scenes where you see cock, you see there's a lot of stuff in this film that you're not gonna really feel comfortable sitting next to your mother watching in a movie. And it's like one of the scenes is like the guy's talking to a guy in jail, and he basically is making these promises, and the guy is basically saying, yeah right, and I also promise not to come in your mouth. Like there's all this like lines of dialogue.
I've made that promise before.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here with my mother watching this movie in the theater, and I'm just like kind of almost in a sense like I have a little bit of shock while I'm watching this movie, going, I'm a little embarrassed myself because I'm with my mother watching.
And how do you think your poor mother felt?
And I'm like, no, but my mother's just watching the movie.
She didn't like the popcorn.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, is my mother gonna give me like a lecture? Why did you force me to go see this? Why did you make me go see this movie? So we get out of the movie though. My mother was like, hey, that was a really good movie. That was I like that movie. Like my mother loved the movie.
Right.
My mother didn't like. My mother treated me as an adult and looked at me and said, hey, that was a great movie. What'd you think of it? Like she didn't sit there and I'm sure there was a little
that's kind of how my
awkwardness.
parents were with me
But
too.
it was like. But I mean, it was one of those things where I was the one really feeling, nervous because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. There was like you could see vagina. There's lesbianism in the film. There's all this stuff going on in this film, and I'm thinking, do I feel comfortable sitting next to my mom in like this movie? And it was the awkward years too. It's not when I was a little kid. It was like right when I'm getting into the, it was like that type of years, and I'm like kind of like, oh, yeah. It's the last time I say to my mother, let's go see an R-rated film together,
Right.
Mom. It's like, so from that point on, I was like, oh, let's go see Winnie the Pooh. That sounds great.
Next time you say something, let's go see a midnight screening of Caligula.
Yeah, let's go see Caligula, Mom.
Great.
But it was also my mother that used to come downstairs and yell at my father, because my father and I would be watching Skinamax when I was a kid. Because my father would, I'd go downstairs to get a drink of water, and my father would be like, oh, you gotta watch this movie, it's a great film. And he'd be like, you like this. This is a funny comedy. And I'd sit down, and there'd be some slapstick happening and then a bunch of screwing. And my mother would come downstairs and start yelling at me watching this movie, and then yelling at my father, like, why are you letting him watch this? And I would be like, what? It's a comedy. It's a buddy cop film.
Look at the way that he's biting her ankle.
He's using her boots as a flotation device. They're swimming. They're buddies. It's like, But my father used to do that all the time. He'd be like, oh, you got to see this movie. It's a great. Because my father's a perv.
How old were you when that was going on?
6.
No, I was like, probably about 6, 7.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, when we grew up,
even around when you were 6
no. Well, my father. This is a weird thing. Well, HBO used to have the late night movies before Cinemax started.
Yeah.
HBO had
They now have the market on it.
Yeah, but the growing up in our house, my father collected Playboys. He had every Playboy from his youth on. He stored his Playboys in my brother's and my closet. So growing up, when we were babies, when we were children, our closets were full of his Playboy collection.
But you don't really appreciate it until you're about 11.
No, but I'm saying though, but they were always there. So I would open up my closet every morning. I'd be getting ready for kindergarten school. Playboys would fall out of the closet when I would be getting my jacket and getting my clothing. They would be these old Playboys from the 50s and the 60s and all these. So I had pornography in my closets growing up. My father never thought anything was wrong with that. He never, his mentality was, they're boys. It's just boobs. Because, Playboy was tame. The old Playboy. Because you didn't see anything. You just saw boobs. And he never thought anything wrong with that. He never thought there was anything messed up about having Playboys in his boys' closet. Now, my sister never had pornography in her closets. He never put anything in her closets or anything like that. But he decided his mentality was, let me store the old porn in my son's closets while they're growing up. And that's what he used to do. And he wasn't thinking that we were going to get into it. You know, he wasn't thinking that. But his mentality was, though, if I'd walk downstairs. Now, my brother never, my brother would never get up in the middle of the night, but because I always was an insomniac, even as a kid, I would get up in the middle of the night, and I'd walk downstairs, and the TV would be on. My father would be like, hey, watch this movie. This is a great movie. And he would. He'd sit there and have me watch this, like, softcore porn. And he'd be like, oh, you'd like this movie. It's really funny. Or this is a great film. It's got action in it. It's got, it's got a good plot line. And he used to...
I've always really liked your dad. I'm really kind of creeped out by him right now.
Now we figure out what's wrong with Dan.
Yeah. See,
I've heard you.
My problem
but
is...
I've talked about that with you before.
I didn't realize you were that young, though. That's why I asked you to clarify the age. I've heard you talk about this before. I didn't realize you were 6 years old.
6, 7 years old, like around that time.
I turned out the way I am because my mom wanted to watch Skinemax with me. She's like, watch this.
That makes you gay, right? If your mom watches Skinemax with you,
so gay.
that makes you gay. Yes.
I didn't come out of the closet.
But I mean, you got to realize though, when I'm 6, 7 years old, I don't even know what's going on the screen. I'm just seeing a bunch of boobs and I mean,
that
it's not
doesn't
like,
make it.
but he's not. But it wasn't. But we're not watching hardcore pornography. That didn't happen until at least 8. I mean, that wasn't until that wasn't until 8 or 9 years old. You know, and that. You know, and then the first whorehouse, that I was 10 when he took me to that. I mean, that was like, when we went to the bunny ranch.
Driving over here too, I heard a commercial for Max 2, Mac 2s. It's a strip club down in Billerica.
For Mac 2s? That's
Mac 2s, yeah. It was
a
always,
Mac 1
it was always
somewhere?
18 plus because they lost their liquor license years ago, and they've never. The town of Billerica has never allowed them to get it back. So when I was in high school, that's where we would always go.
Mac 2s.
Mac 2s. It was an awful establishment. You could see the bullet holes. It's like...
Well, it's probably Mafia and like all of them down in Massachusetts because I know the one I used to go to...
They never brought their A game. That's the problem.
Was it the Banana? I used to go to the Banana had bullet holes in the walls too.
Really?
Oh, I'm talking about the girls. You
Oh,
can
the
see
girls.
The bullet holes on the
Tire tracks on them.
Well, the girls at the Banana, they had all the scars. They had all they would have, and they had what is it? The C-section scars. They'd have the C-section scars. They'd have the breast job scars.
Yep.
And they would, but the walls had bullet holes all over the walls. And then when you'd walk into the Banana, the doorman would always be like, he'd always be like, "You better settle down tonight, gentlemen." And then he'd be like, you would hear like the names like Nunzio and Rocco is in the place tonight. It was like it would be like the funniest place you'd walk in there, and it was the place always smelled like semen. It was just a disgusting place. Great ribs though, best rib. They had a great rib special when you went on the Tuesday night ribs. They smelled like piss and semen, but their rib special was great.
I just got disgusted by the smell of semen. That's.
They had the greatest food specials though.
Oh.
You would like the girls would come up. They'd have this weird they'd have this like sticky stuff all over their bodies when they'd dance on you. But their hamburgers are the best. Yeah, the best tasting hamburgers.
Great 10-cent wings.
Well, it's also like there was a strip club that was near Tweeter when I was training for Tweeter called Club Alex's. That was almost the same type of place.
I remember Alex's.
They're big. That was in Stoughton. Club Alex's, and their big claim to fame was their lunch specials. It's like, who goes to strip clubs to eat? Though it's like,
no kidding.
It was like,
you watch those sitcoms and everything, and it's always some guy.
Yeah, but we went. No, but while we were training for Tweeter, though, we went there for lunch every day because it was like a $2 lunch special, and you got the lunch special. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't even. It was free lunch if you bought a drink. So you would get free lunch. And you bought like a $2 drink, and we'd go there, and you'd have these strippers stripping in front of you, putting it all in your face while you're sitting there trying to eat like a lunch special.
Your tit is in my BLT. Excuse me.
Wow.
But we would go there for lunch, and some of us, a couple of us would get drinks. Like we'd get drinks because we were men. Okay, men would go and get drinks. The other little wussies would get like Coke. Some of us would get rum and Coke because we'd go back to we were training. We'd go back and. We'd say, hey.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Well, no, I'm
we
saying,
get rum and Coke because we'd go back and hey.
No, but I'm just saying though, we weren't in the store. We weren't working with people.
Yes.
We're just hanging out, learning stuff in a training environment. It's like, but people were afraid to have one drink at work. Like, what is one drink gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, we weren't dealing with customers. But some people were always like, why do you have a lime in your Coke? Like, people were questioning us while we were sitting there at the, it's like, oh, well, I just like a little lime in my Coke, all right? Play it cool, buddy.
Jack,
You know,
Coke.
like it's like a big
But
deal.
But don't Jack.
Yeah, don't
Coke.
check it.
No.
But it was just the funniest thing though, because you'd have like you'd be eating a quesadilla, and there'd be like somebody like spread eagle in front of you, and it's just in hindsight, you're kind of thinking, is that really sanitary? Do you really want?
It just sounds awkward.
Do you really want to eat the food
So
there?
many images popping up of things that could fall.
Do
into
you
sand.
really want? Is the food really that good? Could that be why I have stomach problems to this day? Could it be that place? 'Cause
It could be.
You know, but everybody was always saying, "Go get their lunch," and I laugh every time I hear an ad for a strip club, and they always talk about their lunch specials, or if there's a strip club that has a buffet.
Apparently, Matt in the chat room is familiar with Alex's and Stoughton. There were
Holding
always
crosses.
people holding crosses from
Yeah.
across the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Picketing the place and getting yeah. And I think they're owned by, is it Iranians, or there's like it's somebody from a foreign country that owns the place. I know that much. It's either Armenians or Iranians, but it's like
Or the mob.
a lot of the women. Yeah, but it might be the Armenian mob, because a lot of the women over there, English is their second language, and they it's Armenians. Okay, I thought so, because there's a lot of the strippers are Armenian, because they for some reason they thought I was Armenian one time when I was in there, because they kept asking me, "Are you Armenian?" And I'm
Let's hear
like,
it
"Yeah,
for-
whatever, baby."
Let's hear it for Cinnamon Kaltukian. Come
Yeah.
on, Cinnamon.
That's what it was like. It's like, here is Abdouche. All right, yes, Abdouche.
Hummus, everybody.
Yes,
Hummus.
Get ready for the second stage for the sexy hummus.
Tabbouleh.
Yes, the mysterious
Here comes
tabbouleh
tabbouleh.
salad coming out. No, that's what I ordered for my lunch. What are you
Yes,
talking
yes.
Coming with your-
Fabulous couscous.
about? Yes.
You can really take it dirty.
You can. Wow.
Oh, goodness.
That's why the terrorists say this.
Yep.
Terrorist.
Well, who was that just walked behind us?
It's like Glenn.
That looked like Glenn R.J.
Glenn,
Glenn,
our
engineer.
engineer over
You
there.
made him
that-
blush.
Yeah.
He had to
got-
leave.
You heard about strip clubs and you got all embarrassed.
Oh.
Oh, what is that?
What
Oh,
is
no.
that? What's going on? It's anarchy.
It's free
YouTube
music.
commercials. I still haven't broken down and spent the $3.99 to get the commercial free.
You do know it's $3.99, right? It's not like it's $300.
Yes, I'm well aware of
All right,
that.
just making sure.
$3.99, not $4.
Not $4.
No, it's not even $4.
You think they would just make it for? Can we just make it like that Ellen ad?
Yeah.
Like, can we just make it just an even amount now?
15
at this point?
pence.
Never happened.
99 pounds.
Why won't it happen?
It should happen. They should get rid of pennies, but it'll never happen.
You know, don't you think if
I heard Canada's getting rid of pennies.
Really?
do they even have pennies in Canada still?
Well, I'm sure they have a version of their own.
Is it
version.
worth anything?
Canada.
Is it worth half a
God
cent
bless
at this
Canada.
point?
I think their money's worth more than ours at this point,
Is
isn't
I
it?
believe
Canadian
it
money
is.
worth more than ours?
Yeah, that's a humiliating, isn't it?
That's horrible. Nothing is worth more than ours in Canada. Come on, there's only their actors.
They have better meth up there. Oh,
Better
did
meth.
somebody just walk by us again?
Well, the further north you go, the better the meth.
It's like
generally.
the ghost from 3 Men and a Baby in the window back there.
Is that what it is?
What?
The old
That's
urban
an
legend that there was a
It turns
ghost on
out
the
it's
set of
it's
3 Men and a Baby.
I've never heard that.
Oh,
Really?
It turns out it's a cardboard cutout of Ted Danson that one of the crew members had put on to be a joke.
Oh,
So at one point, I think it's Ted Danson's scene. He's with his mother and the baby, and he walks past a window, and you
Oh.
see the cardboard cutout of it.
And they
Oh.
claim there was like there's like a go. And for years, people said it until it finally like when it finally came out on DVD or something, right? They finally could see that it's actually a cardboard cutout
Yeah.
of a shadowy
Oh.
figure.
And they were always saying,
But
"Oh, it was the
people are always
ghost who was
saying
in
it's
the
a ghost.
apartment."
Because they claimed that it was filmed in an apartment. It never was. It was
No,
on a
it's on a
soundstage.
soundstage.
But they claimed it was filmed in an apartment, and the person that died in the apartment, you could see their ghost in the scene. And it was one of these Hollywood urban legends that went around for a long, long time.
I wonder if it's still out there.
It, yeah, it's one of those ones, just like the hanging midget in
3 Men and a Baby ghost. Look at
the
that.
Wizard of Oz. The whole thing about the Munchkin. You know about that?
no.
There's
a
a scene in the Wizard of Oz where there's a Munchkin hanging, and like a Munchkin commits suicide
did
during
hear that
Wizard
one,
of
yeah.
Oz, and it stays on film. But what it really is, it's a bird in the background
Oh.
that kind of moves. But if you look at it from like the corner of your eye, it looks like a midget dangling from a
Oh,
tree.
really? Yeah.
They said a
Yeah.
midget. There's also apparently a UFO that can be seen on the soundstage of the Wizard of Oz as well.
A UFO.
There's just so many of those myths.
That reminds me, what was because I didn't actually see Amsterdam the other night, but Gorman, or Ryan Michael, as he now
Oh, yeah.
wants to be known, he called into Norman Friends saying that on Amsterdam that night they were going to be showing pictures of a UFO.
Yeah, outside of his office, where I think he said he works at 1001 Elm, which is actually right next door to Dan and I.
Yeah.
At the office that we work in. Looks like he had his camera phone and he showed something that was hovering above the 1000 Elm Plaza.
Really?
I didn't see it, and our office does have a window that looks exactly where his is.
Yeah.
The picture was a little grainy, of course, like all UFO pictures. It looks like he tried to zoom in and it got depixelated. So
Interesting.
it was, yeah. I didn't see it. I can't corroborate his story.
Yeah.
But this happened on Friday?
Yeah, I believe it happened. No,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it happened, if he
it
called it
happened
an
right the
ongoing
same
show.
That's interesting. You know, coming into here tonight, as I was parking my car, I saw a midget dangling from the building on himself.
Wait a
Is
minute.
there a UFO that was hovering above him?
No, just a midget, and I saw a cardboard cutout of Steve Gutenberg in the window where Essence used to be. So that confluence.
Is that
of
how they're
things
trying to?
freaked
Is
me
that
out.
how they're trying to rent the place?
Yes.
By having Gutenberg as the real estate agent.
The Goot?
Well, the
I would definitely rent it if the Goot had something.
the cardboard cutout of Gutenberg comes with the property
Oh,
now if you
wow.
rent it. So little extra
Actually,
incentive.
Was that something
Steve
you left
Gutenberg-
behind? Was it something you had?
Gutenberg
It was.
himself
I thought so.
as well.
Yes. Well, he'll come and do the ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
If you rent the space, Steve Gutenberg will come and cut the ribbon,
I'm looking at a.
And he won't leave.
and he
looking-
won't leave. No.
Steve, we're good.
Yeah, we're all set. We're all set there, Gutenberg.
Sure, you need anything? I can get you napkins or no, Steve.
I heard a rumor that they were going to do a relaunch or what do they call it now when they're going to reboot of Police Academy.
I heard that.
I heard they were going to do that, but it's like why?
He is was it George Haynes? When he was on Punky Brewster and he was the commandant. Is he still alive?
Oh, I think he passed
He's
away.
dead, isn't he?
No, that's a shame. I liked him.
He passed away right after.
That's
his-
random.
I know. I liked him. I thought it was a good guy.
What was the spin-off
Okay.
show that the Golden Girls that he did? Was it Empty Nest?
No, that's
Richard Mulligan.
Richard Mulligan.
I thought he was only okay. So I always confuse him and the old guy from Punky Brewster for some reason. I always get the two of
Really?
them confused. I don't know why,
The old guy from Punky Brewster was much older.
but I always
No,
think of them
Richard
like
Mulligan.
their death. I'm saying their deaths.
Oh, really?
Like because they're both dead, right? Because didn't Richard Mulligan die as well?
I think so.
I always get their death dates the same time. Like I want to say, when did Richard Mulligan die compared to when the guy from
Richard Mulligan was early 2000.
Was it more recent? Because I'm thinking was George Haynes, was he earlier in his career? Did he die like? Because I really need to know now at this point. Because
What
it's
a
like,
weird random thing to even wonder about.
Yeah, but I get the two of them. I get their deaths. That's the
2000.
thing.
Richard Mulligan died in 2000.
He died in 2000, and then
When did Richard
Haynes
Mulligan
died.
die?
Was it
Compared to when
earlier
George
or-
Haynes died, was it in the
compared to
same
Haynes?
decade?
I
It's one of those things
but
I
always-
wonder about. How far apart?
When
How many
was
years
it? When
apart
was
did they
it? I
die?
need to know.
These two people.
I need to know.
George
because
Gaines died.
when did George Gaines die? It was before him, right? Before I just need to know. Was it before Richard Mulligan or after?
George Gaines isn't dead.
He's not dead. Well, he should be. He should be on the pool at this point. Isn't the guy like 102?
George Gaines was born in 1917, and he does not have a death
He
date.
does not have a
Wow.
death date? What? Is he still making movies? Was he in a movie recently?
He was in Just Married.
Well, that's a while ago, right?
That was 2003, but
Wow.
he is not dead.
He is not dead.
Why won't you die?
Wow. So maybe I thought he died when Richard Mulligan died. Maybe I thought they were together.
1917, So he's
I thought they were in a
95
plane
years
crash together. No, but I thought, okay, wait a minute. George Gaines
old.
was-
you type
he
in
was
George
waiting-
Gaines and Google pipes in, is George Gaines still
No,
alive?
so-
Is one of the first
George,
ones.
yeah, but wait a minute though. Okay, now I remember now. Richard Mulligan and George Gaines were getting on a plane together. Richard Mulligan decided to take George Gaines's seat on the plane, right? That's what happened. And then George Gaines decided he went and went his own way. That's what happened.
Seriously?
That's why I'm confused.
Not
the two.
dead.
He's not dead.
George,
He's
this
not-
just in, folks. George Gaines
is not
from
dead.
Buggy Brewster.
So
Police
he
Academy
can be in
is
the
not
reboot of Police Academy then.
Dead.
And they could do a Punky Brewster reunion as well.
But who was Harris? He's still alive. The one, G.W. Bailey.
G.W. Bailey.
He's still alive. He was doing the closer, so they could bring him
He's
back.
still alive.
They're all. Well,
Everybody's
Tackleberry's-
alive except for
Tackleberry's
Tackleberry
dead.
and Bubba Smith died.
Bubba
right?
Smith died. Yeah.
So, but if they're going to do a reboot, I thought they were going to do it with all new cast members.
Yeah, but they'll probably have to bring in at least Steve
Well, they-
Gutenberg and
Throw him a bone.
maybe
yeah.
Throw-
Michael
yeah, put
Winslow, because what's he doing now? Playing in Branson?
He probably is.
Yeah.
He probably is.
Oh, people in
That's a, I don't know if you could pull it up on there. I wish we could put it on the screen. I wish that we need to tie it into the screen. They're doing a Dallas reboot.
Yep.
Have you seen the promotional poster for the Dallas reboot?
I have one in Entertainment Weekly where they're all standing in the shower.
With the old cast members. Is that not the creepiest thing you've ever seen?
Well, they're coming back.
But it's just a
It's
weird
not a
thing.
reboot. It's not a reboot. It's Dallas where the Ewings are right now.
So it takes. So it's not. So it's not it's not like the 90210 then. It's
No.
it's not. It's
Because
not.
they have Larry Hagman and Patrick Duffy.
Yeah.
And,
So it's
Well, it's
basically
similar
Dallas
to-
now.
It's similar to 90210 because it's a new breed of students who are going to Beverly Hills, but they
Okay.
brought back Kelly. They brought
Yeah.
back.
So it's
Brenda
basically doing the
for-
same premise, but it's in Dallas. So it's not like so. It's but is it not creepy though to have old Larry Hagman in a shower with a bunch of
That's
that's what I'm
drew
talking
my
about.
eye. The first thing was, holy shit! There's Larry Hagman in a towel.
Like you have Patrick
that should
Duffy,
happen.
Larry Hagman, and who else is it? Like
Gray, Linda Gray.
Linda Gray, and then you have a bunch of like teenagers,
Yeah.
right, that are in the shower together.
I mean, a reboot is more like Battlestar Galactica because even though they have one of the original cast members who's on it as
But it's
one
their
of the
character.
convict,
Yeah,
and
it's
he's
not-
not playing the character.
Yeah.
It's a whole new cast playing.
That's a reimaging.
or
or-
Star
yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Reimagining. Yeah.
But
Well, the Star Trek
was more
though,
like
they didn't really
the
do it.
movie. The movie
Well,
itself.
that's what I'm
yeah.
referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bringing on the next generation, it's just continuing the story of Star Trek. with
doing
all
it different
the
times.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Star Trek was more of like a prequel.
Right. Yeah. Star Trek, the movie, the J.J. Abrams was more like starting.
Well,
from
that was
scratch.
supposed to be the
This is-
Starfleet Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
supposed to be that. Yeah.
But they tie it into Star Trek because they bring in Leonard Nimoy.
But
older.
the cool thing
Leonard
about the
Nimoy.
Star Trek movie was the fact that because of the plot line of having that everything happening where they could change things, so now the story you can do a whole fresh new take.
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
That's what I liked about what Abrams did with the Star Trek movie because now you can have.
I like that he cast Tyler Perry in for a very small part. I just thought that was just a
And
weird
that's
decision.
the only part I can actually watch Tyler Perry and not get annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
Because he's only got that small.
Or Winona Ryder as Spock's mother. I was like, really?
Oh yeah.
That's an interesting casting choice.
Yeah.
A very interesting casting choice.
Well, she needed the money, right?
Yeah.
So he probably wanted to throw her a bone, give her a little favor, and he probably was thinking he couldn't get as many of his because he loves to throw in a lot of his TV show like people.
Oh, yeah.
Abrams always throws in people from Felicity and some of the other like he'll throw in some other people from some of his earlier
Lost
shows. Like he'll have some of the Lost people, and because I noticed that with
Joss Whedon does that too.
Whedon will throw in some people from time to time, but it's like because I know when I went and saw the Mission Impossible movie, the latest one,
Ghost Protocol.
Ghost Protocol. Abrams is like an executive producer or something or whatever, and you have Freckles there. What's his name there? Sawyer. You have Sawyer from Lost.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the beginning of the film.
And Simon Pegg
like,
is brought into the third
Yeah.
one, which he directed that one too.
yeah, but I'm just. It's funny though because I see that when I'm watching Ghost Protocol, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's Sawyer from Lost. He doesn't do movies. What is he doing? I was like, what is he doing? And then I'm thinking, oh wait, Abrams has got his hand in this.
He was supposed to be a comic book in a comic book film too. Sawyer.
Was he?
Yeah. Probably got scrapped because Green Lanterns suck.
Is that what it was?
I
Because
think,
Green Lantern suck.
I think-
All comic book movies are
Yeah.
done. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think they stopped. They're just sticking with like doing the Avengers because those have already turned out to be
Well, you got
successful
the new
movies,
Dark Knight coming out,
which
that-
is
and they
a
and
part of a
they
trilogy.
and they've green lighted the new Superman. That's
See, they're sticking to the
they're
stuff that they
sticking
know
to it.
that works.
So you're saying like there's no.
But if
new-
Sawyer was to play Aquaman, they'd probably say no.
nobody wants an Aquaman movie. Nobody wants an
Even
Aquaman.
Aquaman doesn't like
I know.
Aquaman.
Nobody would go see an Aquaman movie. Nobody cares about Aquaman. Nobody ever has. Nobody would. There's no. They tried
It'd
to
be
do
a
an
special
Aquaman.
guest star.
They tried to do an Aquaman TV show and it didn't. Like nobody wanted to buy the pilot. They filmed the pilot. There was because Smallville had Aquaman on Smallville, and they decided.
Worst episode ever.
They decided. Hey, let's make a show about Aquaman. And they filmed a pilot. They tried to sell the pilot, and the WB like at the time, like everybody was like, okay. They watched it. They tested it. Everybody was like, "Who the hell would watch this show about a guy that controls fish?"
When you
How-
put it that way.
But I mean, really, I mean,
That's
how?
pretty much
If
what
you
the show's
think about Aquaman as a superhero, how can he save the world by controlling fish? Really, I mean, is that Glenn talking over the intercom?
Right here.
Come on over.
Did we
here.
lose Glenn?
Glenn's napping. He's taking a nap. But I'm just saying. I mean, who else would you bring out for? I mean, you have there's movies being made left and right that are comic book movies, but there's not any real superhero movies apart from your established. I mean, we have the reboot of Spider-Man.
Do we need that already?
No,
I don't see the point.
no. And you have the Avengers, which is looking more and more like it's going to be a really good movie.
That is Joss Whedon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I've still yet to see Thor.
that's a great.
Hawkman and Girl, Wonder Twins, Wonder Woman. That's what Matt is suggesting.
What for movies?
Yeah.
The Wonder Twins were never in a comic book, so why would you want to have a? I don't know. You're saying doing a Super Friends movie? I don't know. Hawkman and Girl. Okay, that's like I don't know. I don't know if anybody would actually go out and see
Birdman.
Hawkman.
Or let's say Harvey Birdman.
Harvey
and turn
Birdman
that
into
into
a
a movie. I love that TV show.
And again, they tried to do a Wonder
We'll
Woman,
take-
a new
we'll-
Wonder Woman TV show, and that failed.
Yeah,
the
that's
pilot
right.
for that didn't. And I watched the. There's footage out there on the internet of that. They did like the opening credit scenes. They did. I guess there was so much controversy with what they had her dressed as and stuff because people were upset because she was too sexy for one, and then she was not sexy enough for another. So it was like they couldn't decide on how to dress Wonder Woman, and then like again they were trying to make a TV show for Wonder Woman, and that just bombed. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't get that pilot off the ground. So I don't know if a movie would people actually go and pay money to see a Wonder Woman movie.
Probably, maybe. If they have the original theme song. From
The original, they got Linda Carter. They'd be Wonder Woman. But I mean, if they made
It's
a
a
good
hell of a
movie,
bass line in that song.
I think you could get a lot. I think you could probably get a lot of women out there to go see a Wonder Woman movie, and you'd get a lot of horny men to go see a Wonder Woman movie.
Oh, absolutely.
If you actually got a good casting, if you actually picked somebody that was actually a good, if you actually have Wonder Woman saved on your desktop somewhere.
Of course I do.
You have it, like where you actually have it set up and you should make that your ringtone.
Wow.
Yeah, but don't you have all the seasons on DVD, or is that, or you just?
I lost that in the divorce.
Did you lose that in the divorce? Did you lost that?
I'm looking for like the very beginning where you get that. There it is.
The song, yes. Wow.
All right. I had to make up for my Wilson Phillips, so I think we've lost everyone except for Matt and Lemonster in the show.
Everybody left.
Everyone's left.
Everybody left.
Everybody.
Well, there's people still listening.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
people still. There's just nobody's chatting.
Want to wrap it up,
We can.
or do we have more to talk about?
We can. I don't know what else there is to talk about. What
All
else,
right.
what else
we'll
happened?
wrap it up now.
What else happened?
Well, plenty has happened. It's just
We missed like last week. What happened since the
nothing really. It's been Trayvon Martin a lot.
Trayvon Martin?
A lot.
We've established George Gaines is still alive.
George Gaines is still alive.
Did we have any primaries or caucuses that happened in the
We
time?
did.
Wisconsin's coming up with us.
Wisconsin.
Santorum will
Wisconsin,
lose.
DC.
Do you think Santorum
DC.
will lose his hometown? Do you think he'll lose Pennsylvania?
He may lose Pennsylvania. It's
And do you
starting to
think if
look
he
like.
loses Pennsylvania, you think he'll finally drop out? Do you think he's in for the long haul?
No, I think he'll drop out. I think Gingrich will stay in.
Gingrich
See,
is not.
my
gonna
thought
leave.
is if Gingrich stays, then Santorum would probably stay.
Oh, you
But-
think so?
I don't think. I should say Gingrich is much more against the Republican establishment than Santorum. Santorum wants to continue his career
Mhm.
in politics, whereas Gingrich.
Yeah.
He has less to lose.
Santorum's only what 48 years old, so he's young. He's still got a long political career.
Well, the
I
thing
don't
about
think that's what he
Santorum
wants.
though is everything he's doing because God told him to do it.
Yeah.
So if God hasn't told him to step down yet, and I was watching something.
But if the
I was
Koch
watching
brothers
what his.
and Carl Rove and Roger Ailes, if they all
But-
got together and asked
According
him
to what
step
his
down-
wife was saying earlier today on some news thing, she was saying, she didn't want him to even go for this in the first place.
Right.
But he took her aside and said, God told me this is my mission. I need to run for president.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you know.
He should take
Yeah.
a lesson from Rick Perry because God also told Rick
Yes.
Perry to run, and Michelle Bachmann, I believe. And look
Yes.
what happened to them.
So he may, if he loses Pennsylvania, he may still be like, well, God is telling me to stay in for the long haul. But
I don't know.
You know,
God really screws with these people.
God may
God
be just
messes
having a
with
good time. He
Republicans.
may be having fun. He may
Yeah.
be going. You know, God may be sitting up there looking down at Santorum, going, "What else is this nut going to say?
Yeah.
I want to see what else he's going to talk about. I want to see what other things he's going to put his foot and mouth over."
Mm-hmm.
That may be what he's doing.
And there's some great candidates out there that God just loves to mess.
Oh, I saw somebody here that Romney
But
got
for
April
people who
fooled by
enjoy-
his staffers.
For people who
Yes,
enjoy
that's a
comedy,
good
you know,
thing.
it's great.
Who's Chaka Khan?
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Why? What is Shaka Khan?
Shaka Khan is I'm every woman. She's a singer.
Huh?
All right, so
What does Shaka Khan have to do with it?
That
it's
was
in the
random.
chat room. It's in
Oh,
the
I was
chat
like, that
room.
was random. I didn't even look at the chat room.
Matt
I
just
saw-
said on the news right now, Shaka Khan is head official for Trayvon Martin. And
Shaka
I'm sure-
Khan, is she singing a sweet little song?
And she
about
is also
Republic?
still alive.
Shaka Khan is still
She
alive.
is
This
still
just
alive.
in. She is still alive.
So some plugs. What do we got going on? Matt Connerton Unleashed, 7 p.m. Eastern, IPMNation.com on Sunday nights.
Yes.
Followed by our good friends from Amsterdam, the Peter White Show at 8 p.m. Eastern on IPM Nation on Sundays. And then, of course, you can catch our good friends at Amsterdam on Wednesday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Channel 23 if you live in the Manchester area, or IPMNation.com. We'll At Large Gone Global, the live global edition on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday nights. I said that Friday nights. This is that time of the night where I get recorded. The non-global edition, the local edition on Thursday nights at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Which has a new name, right?
It will have a new.
It will have,
We'll
a,
have
new
a
name.
new name, and the name will be
Fairer at Large, is that correct?
No.
Oh, sorry.
QCE News will let it large.
QCE News. We'll Let It Large,
Large.
4 p.m. Eastern Thursdays, TV 23, and available on IPM Nation. And of course, you can always catch us here every Sunday night. There's debate about next weekend because the Peter White Show is taking a break for Easter, and my co-host Dan will be up north for Easter.
Oh, okay.
So if by chance if we're not here next weekend, we will post it on Facebook, and don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Verbal Ejac, as well as you can always email us if we're not doing the live show. Email us during the week at ve@ipmnation.com.
Well, we
Have
could
I
always.
forgotten anything?
We could always.
Oh, and the express edition of Matt Connerton Unleashed as well is available Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
And we can always.
If you want to still do the show next week, we could always see if Hopper's around. We could always play that.
Hopper could be my co-host.
Hopper could be your
Yes.
co-host. I mean, that could be true.
But he's dead, Dennis Hopper.
Dennis
Dennis
Hopper, or
Hopper.
Hopper the Rabbit?
That
Sure,
is
Hopper
sad.
the Rabbit
Oh,
is dead
sad.
too, though.
right, yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And our engineer is asking us a question. Are we ending with Hopper? Or
No, we don't need to end with.
we
Hopper.
don't need to end.
We don't need
We
to
can end with. Well, we can end with Wilson Phillips.
end with Wilson Phillips.
All right, we're not going to end
That's,
with
that's,
that. That's just too much.
That's too much.
So,
Wilson
like to
Phillips.
say, thank you to everybody who's in the chat room tonight, to Matt Lemonster and Peter White of the Peter White Show, our special in-house audience member tonight, Kristen. Thank you. And to our engineer extraordinaire, Glenn R.J. Roulette. Good night. Oh, Matt in the chat room says good night, all. So we may see you next week. If not, check out our Facebook page to see if we do cancel. And if we do cancel, we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, everyone. Have a good night. And we will see you.
Happy
we'll
Easter
see-
if we don't.
Happy Easter if
Happy
we don't
Easter.
see you. Passover if you're Jewish. Did that already happen?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to
Passover?
Jewish
I
things.
don't think so.
So we
That's
will
this
see
weekend.
you. Regardless,
Oh,
we'll either
this
see
weekend?
you next week or in 2 weeks. So have fun. See you in the next show.